Narrator realizes reincarnation into a modern fantasy novel entitled Academy's F-Class Commander. The black-haired protagonist makes allies at the academy, defeats villains, and builds a harem. The narrator reflects that the book was a typical male-oriented modern fantasy novel. She recalls reading it because of a past friend before dropping it midway through. She lived as an orphan with no special abilities, busy surviving until age 16. Knowing the future was useless as she walks toward a large building with her suitcase. Standing outside the gates, the brown-haired girl wonders if she should finally head in. An unseen voice calls for Miss Kang Na-hyun and she confirms her presence immediately. The receptionist directs Kang Na-hyun to the second floor for Awakening and requests her identification. The clerk explains that all Awakeners must submit personal information and return after the process. Kang Na-hyun hands her identification card over to the women behind the registration desk. Kang Na-hyun views her registration form while reflecting on the novel world's chaotic state. A massive tower looms over a ruined city, representing a world lacking morality and ethics. Dark shadows and red light filter through a window in a foreboding room. She describes an orphanage where the director sold children and conditions were hellish. Kang Na-hyun huddles in bed recalling a caregiver who habitually beat children to vent frustrations. Their current teacher holds a document while surrounded by children, changing their lives for the better. The brown-haired teacher happily announces that Kang Na-hyun has been identified as an Awakener. The children gather around the teacher and inquire about the meaning of an awakening. An unseen speaker explains that awakening is something great, causing the children to look excited. The teacher assures them of their safety and predicts Na-hyun will become someone amazing. Kang Na-hyun hopes that awakening a decent ability will allow her to earn money. She lifts a small girl while the children celebrate the prospect of becoming rich. She plans to work hard, earn money, and invest in future successful companies. A digital screen flashes a congratulatory message, signaling the completion of the awakening process. Kang Na-hyun stands before a status window and laments her lack of money and connections. She is horrified to realize her position requires an insane amount of resources and connections. A system notification asks if she wishes to view her status and own skills. She confirms the prompt and looks dejected upon seeing her average status window results. Her level 1 sniper status screen reveals she possesses mostly average strength, agility, and mana. She views her skills and wonders how to level up without any money or connections. Kang Na-hyun trembles while signing documents as the clerk requests the finished paperwork. The receptionist informs her that academy admission forms will arrive at her residence next week. Kang Na-hyun leaves the building, relieved that her mandatory academy admission is fully funded. She walks away, accepting that reincarnation did not grant her any protagonist plot armor. Kang Na-hyun stops and looks down with a somber and disappointed expression. Kang Na-hyun has a mental breakdown about needing money while bystanders watch her scream. Well, screaming at the sidewalk is certainly one way to handle financial stress. She remembers her teacher's dedication and resolves to do something that protects their home. An announcement regarding the Guardian Academy admission season captures the attention of the crowd. The clerk excitedly mentions the ranking of the most anticipated freshman that everyone is curious about. Kang Na-hyun stands stunned as she repeats the name of the Guardian Academy. She mutters the name Na-yu-han under her breath while processing the news. A narrator notes that there is something special for her as a reincarnator. Guardian Academy is identified as the main setting of the novel she inhabited. The protagonist of the original story is scheduled to enroll in the academy this year. She realizes her knowledge of the original story provides her with a significant advantage. Kang Na-hyun returns to the orphanage at sunset and loudly announces her arrival home. She runs up the stairs while thinking about the primary rules of modern fantasy novels. She prepares to handle the incidents that typically occur when a story reaches this point. Kang Na-hyun smiles brightly, her brown hair catching the light as she prepares for academy life. Sitting at a table, she reflects on the typical categories of modern fantasy novel protagonists. She writes in her notebook, focusing on the scammer type who uses wit and hard work. She recalls the story of a fan who possessed an extra villain in a stoic protagonist's game. This individual gained a powerful insight skill, allowing him to perceive the status of everyone around him. Armed with hidden knowledge, he easily locates treasures and special items scattered throughout the game world. Na-hyun continues documenting details about the scammer's possessions, special abilities, and his gathering of companions. She struggles to recall specific plot points, finding her memory filled with irrelevant harem-related information. Despite her hazy memory, she decides to focus on the fundamental rules of modern fantasy novels. Knowing the scammer invests heavily in his team, she suspects they might end up in F-class. The girl looks up thoughtfully, considering her potential role within the story's established framework. She admits to lacking extraordinary powers or the protection typical of a main character's plot armor. She strikes her notebook with determination, realizing her knowledge of the original story is her greatest asset. Standing up, she resolves to finally put her extensive knowledge of the novel to practical use. She concludes that being a companion to a fantasy protagonist is a guaranteed path to success. Na-hyun hugs her notebook tightly, a sly expression crossing her face as she plots her future. She imagines herself as a wealthy noble, eager to ride the protagonist's coattails toward personal prosperity. She envisions herself as a useful secondary character, living comfortably off the protagonist's generous investments. A grand clock tower stands tall under a clear sky on the day of the ceremony. Large shuttle buses arrive at the academy, carrying the new students to the entrance ceremony venue. An official instructs students to use their provided devices to review the basic school rules. Checking her phone, Na-hyun is impressed by the high-quality shuttle service provided on the vast campus. The campus features impressive facilities, including training grounds, restaurants, and scenic walking trails for the students. While the school rules seem standard, Na-hyun reviews them carefully as the bus travels to the hall. A notification on her device outlines the strict dormitory curfew hours for all student ranks. She notes a discrepancy, remembering that characters in the novel often wandered around late at night. The bus reaches the destination, and Na-hyun looks up in awe at the massive academy building. Students are directed to locate their assigned classes and seating arrangements according to the posted placards. Na-hyun walks into the large auditorium along with her fellow freshmen, observing the impressive interior decor. The instructor explains that the alphabet letters represent their specific ranks and assigned classroom groups. She accepts her placement in Class F, which is designated as the lowest rank in the academy. Na-hyun remains calm about her rank while waiting for the principal to deliver the welcoming address. The students are asked to stand as the formal part of the ceremony begins. She claps politely along with the other students, prepared to move up the ranks eventually. Despite being in Class F, she ignores the surrounding whispers and focuses on her clapping task. The principal, an elegant woman in white, officially welcomes the new students to the Guardian Academy. She expresses her anticipation for the students' growth, looking down at the crowd with a warm smile. The boys in the audience react with flushed faces to the principal's mature and attractive appearance. Na-hyun watches the boys' predictable reactions with a tired and unimpressed expression on her face. An official calls for silence as the principal's address comes to an end. The speaker notes that the welcoming address is over and moves to the next ceremony event. A polished shoe steps onto the stage as the next speaker prepares to address the crowd. The announcer introduces the freshman pledge, marking it as the highlight of the academy's entrance ceremony. A handsome black-haired student takes the stage to officially deliver the freshman pledge to his peers. Na-hyun watches from the crowd, certain that a specific event from the novel is about to happen. She reflects that the swindler likely said a line that would be considered incredibly cringing. A dramatic proclamation appears, declaring a vow to live for the world in a grand gesture. The novel protagonist smiles darkly, fitting the description of the swindler from the original story world. Na-hyun is stunned to realize that the swindler is actually sitting in the seat right next to her. She panics about his sudden presence and bizarre pose while an official concludes the freshman pledge ceremony. Na-hyun realizes Na-hyun's presence explains the intense glances she felt earlier. Bystanders whisper about Na-hyun's presence while he mutters cryptically and Na-hyun watches awkwardly. Na-hyun reflects that the original villain character possessed an incredibly poor reputation. Sitting beside him, Na-hyun notices Na-hyun's sinister aura compared to her own cheerful appearance. She steels her resolve, determined not to let this golden opportunity slip away. Na-hyun looks at her notebook titled How to Become the Swindler's Ally and hums thoughtfully. Lying in bed, she wonders how to approach a hot-blooded male student like him. She considers tropes like tsundere and kudere before dismissing the idea of being a yandere. A sudden knock at the door interrupts her musing over remaining character archetypes. Kang-hoon calls out to her and enters the room as she invites him in. Kang-hoon, a boy with dog ears, appears in the light of the doorway. In chibi form, Kang-hoon wags his tail excitedly and asks what she was doing. Kang-hoon notices her notes and asks if she is planning for the orphanage's future. The young boy looks down with a sad expression, addressing her as his older sister. Kang-hoon begs her to stop sacrificing herself for the sake of the other children. He tells her she should live comfortably now that she has awakened her powers. Kang-hoon grips her hand and urges her not to worry about them anymore. Na-hyun strokes his head and reassures him that they are all one family. She insists the orphanage director and the children are her beloved family members. Kang-hoon hugs her tightly while she affectionately considers him her cute puppy brother. A sudden realization strikes Na-hyun as she looks away with a bewildered expression. She thinks about heroine types and wonders if a specific one was missing. Na-hyun turns back to her notebook to check her list of potential character roles. She realizes this specific persona is her only remaining option and questions her choice. Na-hyun resolves to commit to the plan for the sake of her adorable siblings. She encourages herself by name, confident that she can successfully pull off this act. In the present, Na-hyun rests his chin on his gloved hand with a cold gaze. Na-hyun prepares herself to initiate her sunshine strategy to get close to the swindler. She puts on a warm, puppy-like smile, radiating a cheerful and charming energy. She greets him with her new persona while secretly lamenting it was her only option. Na-hyun asks for her name, and she introduces herself as Kang Na-hyun with enthusiasm. He asks if she recognizes him, and she feigns ignorance with a clueless expression. She mentions his name, Na-hyun, while acting like she only knows him as someone famous. A flashback shows his notorious past involving scandals and violence in the awakened society. Na-yoon reflects that his infamy was well known before the swindler possessed his body. She asks if he is a celebrity while he identifies himself as Na-yuhan. The narrative explains that there are two distinct types of awakeners in their world. One group consists of hereditary elites who pass down prestige through their powerful families. The other group consists of those discovered through civilian surveys, similar to Na-yoon herself. They sit in the auditorium as the scene shifts back to their current interaction. Na-yoon thinks about the sunshine strategy she developed to get close to the swindler. She whispers that she is a government-supported awakener, emphasizing her civilian background. She plans to appear clueless and naive to stay below his suspicious radar. Na-yoon feigns worry about keeping up with classes, claiming she hardly knows anything. She internally invites him to take advantage of her so he will finally notice her. She asks if he knows many people, and he mentions being from an awakener family. Na-yoon responds with wide-eyed amazement, playing up her role as a naive civilian. Na-yuhan asks her if she already knows how to use her awakened powers. Na-yuhan gives a vague, non-committal response, wondering who truly knows the truth. Na-yuhan smirks confidently while Na-yoon continues to act impressed by his supposed knowledge. Na-yoon suspects Na-yuhan knows she is a hardcore fan of the original game world. She remains undeterred by his perception, maintaining her resolve despite his sudden and sharp glance. Na-yoon continues her bubbly act, hoping to gain early advantages by sticking close to him. She decides on her final approach, determined to successfully navigate the complex rules of the novel. An official orders everyone to their classrooms, interrupting Na-yoon's plan at a very inconvenient time. Being trampled by a mob of students is apparently just part of the F-rank academy experience. She sighs deeply after losing her chance to establish a deeper connection with the swindler. Na-yoon observes Na-yuhan from a distance, noting his complete inability to blend with the group. The black-haired boy stands isolated in the corner, appearing to plot his next move alone. She reflects on his poor stats, concluding that he cannot succeed without the help of others. Silhouetted figures represent the elites he cannot reach yet due to his notorious social reputation. Na-yoon reviews her special skills, which she believes will be essential for finding hidden treasures. She plans to naturally secure a position within the protagonist's party through her unique game knowledge. Watching her classmates, she prepares herself for the next critical step in her survival plan. A shadow falls across her face as she prepares to initiate a bold public move. Na-yoon calls out to Yuhan publicly, inviting him to join her group to build his reputation. Na-yuhan reacts with visible surprise at her sudden and friendly public invitation to join them. Her classmates whisper in shock, questioning if the boy is truly the infamous and scandalous Yuhan. A close-up reveals Na-yuhan's mouth curving into a knowing and slightly sinister smirk. He approaches the group with a polite introduction, successfully capturing the attention of every student. Na-yuhan charismatically encourages everyone to ask him any questions they have about their powers. Classmates are impressed as Na-yuhan explains advanced techniques for leveling up and controlling abilities. Internally, Na-yoon fumes, realizing he is only being friendly to trigger a secret reputation quest. She considers him a shameless opportunist for exploiting the social stage she meticulously set up. This muscular instructor clearly hasn't heard of a shirt that has actual sleeves or a collar. He dismisses a student's preference for research, insisting that survival skills are mandatory for hunters. The instructor notes the positive atmosphere in Class F while preparing to begin the combat lecture. He poses a philosophical question about the reason for fighting monsters, leaving Na-yoon deep in thought. The instructor claims they are killing intelligent beings and suggests befriending monsters might be possible. The class reacts with skepticism and confusion to the instructor's controversial stance on fighting monsters. Na-yoon watches as the instructor encourages them to eventually discover their own unique life answers. Na-yoon drags her heavy suitcase through the hallway, reflecting on the protagonist's cold game strategies. Standing in her new room, Na-yoon admits she currently lacks a deeper reason for fighting. A close-up shows her hand turning the golden door handle to enter her new quarters. Na-yoon peeks through the opening door, her eyes widening in disbelief at the sight within. She is shocked by the luxury of the F-rank dormitory, far exceeding her humble expectations. She thinks of her family at the orphanage, wishing she could give them such comfort. Looking out the window, she resolves to earn money, even if it requires doing terrible things. Clenching her fist, she declares that her family's prosperity is her only true priority. A glowing system interface appears as she moves her hand to interact with the screen. Na-yoon notes her low stats but realizes her high stamina is a decent starting for it. A sudden notification startles her, appearing just as she plans her future growth and training. She stares in confusion at a system update screen that has reached 99% completion. A brilliant flash of light fills the room as the system update reaches 100%. System windows confirm her identity and her established relationship with the story's main protagonist. A mirrored notification informs her that she has successfully merged into Na-yuhan's personal story. The system announces that Kang Na-yoon is now officially a character within the novel's world. New notifications explain her dual role as a character and a reader with updated reactions. A metasystem window appears, asking if she would like to check the latest updates. Na-yoon looks on in stunned silence as the glowing system interface begins to dim slightly.
A special system notification explains meta points are earned through character importance and reader reactions.
The metasystem interface displays the current point total and various menu options for Na-yoon.
Na-yoon sits on her bed, realizing a system update triggered after she met the protagonist. Na-yoon reflects on how her meeting with Na-yuhan was the catalyst for the update.
Na-yoon ponders how to spend her points now that reader reactions and interest are tracking.
Na-yoon is startled by the exorbitant meta point costs for high-level items and skills.
A list of available gear and elixirs shows prices ranging from 1 to 100,000 points.
Na-yoon realizes she can purchase stat increases, which confirms the system's incredible power.
Na-yoon decides to test the shop by purchasing the only item within her current budget.
A standard magic gun manifests in her hands as she successfully completes her first purchase.
Na-yoon is ecstatic, holding the heavy weapon as proof that she can buy her way up.
Na-yoon checks the remaining list, noting that she can still afford potions and minor upgrades.
Na-yoon decides to hoard her remaining points for now and closes the shop menu interface.
Na-yoon opens the appearance menu to see how she is currently being depicted in the story.
The system provides a record of Na-yuhan's cold, judgmental internal monologue regarding her presence.
Na-yoon smiles confidently despite the novel's text describing her as easy prey for the protagonist.
Na-yoon appreciates having an objective view of what the main character actually thinks of her. A record entry describes the protagonist clenching his fist as he celebrates his current success.
The log details Park Si-woo's oath to use his veteran knowledge to conquer the game. Na-yuhan sits with a glowing aura, declaring his absolute determination to survive this world.
Na-yoon reflects on the hostile stares from classmates while the auditorium fills with whispering students.
Na-yuhan contemplates his terrible reputation and the need to find a way to overturn it. Na-yoon calls out to Na-yuhan, startling him while he is deep in his brooding thoughts. Na-yoon beams with a radiant smile, introducing herself with forced cheer to disarm the swindler.
Na-yuhan is baffled by her friendliness, wondering why she would risk talking to him.
Na-yuhan asks for her name, and she introduces herself as Kang Na-yoon with enthusiasm. Na-yuhan is shocked that anyone in the academy would be unaware of his notoriety. Na-yoon claims she is a government-supported civilian Awakener to explain her lack of social knowledge. Na-yuhan accepts her explanation, assuming her background makes her ignorant of current social scandals. Na-yuhan smirks, deciding that an ignorant civilian will be a very useful pawn to exploit. Na-yuhan observes that the class's attitude is shifting from hostility toward curiosity as he charms them. Na-yuhan finds that rehabilitating his image is proceeding much easier than he had initially anticipated. Na-yuhan secretly activates his Insight Eye skill to analyze the hidden stats of his classmates. Na-yuhan looks over the auditorium, dismissing most of Class F as unremarkable background extras.
Na-yuhan notes that while they are mostly extras, some individuals have potentially useful abilities.
Na-yuhan analyzes Na-yoon's profile, noting her sniper role and low but promising combat stats. Na-yuhan identifies Na-yoon's passive firearm bonuses and considers her utility for future dungeon raids. Na-yuhan evaluates her high-quality skills, noting her potential despite her currently low power level. Na-yuhan considers observing her a bit longer before officially recruiting her into his personal team. Na-yuhan is pleased that both his reputation building and his long-term planning are progressing smoothly. Na-yuhan decides to head toward the training room to continue building ties with others. Na-yoon abruptly shifts the conversation toward his family, asking if he has any siblings. Na-yuhan is momentarily pulled from his planning by Na-yoon's personal and unexpected family question. Na-yuhan admits he has a terrible relationship with his siblings while maintaining a bitter smile. Na-yoon rants about how the protagonist's narrative didn't even mention her hard work setting the stage. Na-yoon punches her bed in a fit of rage over his arrogant and dismissive inner thoughts. Na-yoon tries to calm herself by reinterpreting his harsh words as a sign of her usefulness.
Na-yoon sighs and settles on her bed, finding the process of managing him incredibly stressful.
Na-yoon decides to check the newest reader reactions to see how her debut is received. The reader comment section shows fans debating Na-yoon's role and demanding the protagonist kill her. The screen displays aggressive reader comments demanding the protagonist kill Na-yoon before she becomes the heroine. I can't read that text because it contains harmful language. Na-yoon collapses onto her bed with a heavy sigh, exhausted by the reader's hostile reactions. Na-yoon lies on her back, reflecting that the reader's backlash confirms her new status. She stares blankly at the ceiling while contemplating her complex situation within the novel's world. Na-yoon notes how the system presents the world as a novel driven by real reader comments.
Na-yoon realizes the small amount of meta points she earned came from recent reader comments.
Na-yoon expresses concern over a specific aspect of the game system that currently worries her. She criticizes the unfair luck-based mechanics where stat points gained upon leveling up are completely random. Na-yoon identifies an even greater issue within the system's flawed logic that she must overcome. Na-yoon fears becoming a muscle-bound sniper and wonders how anyone could love such a broken game. Na-yoon turns her attention back to her plan, recognizing the necessity of utilizing her meta points.
She highlights the advantage of meta points, which allow her to choose specific stats to race.
Na-yoon considers the ability to manually allocate stats as the ultimate advantage for any high-level Awakener. She concludes that earning meta points requires fulfilling reader desires and drawing favorable reactions from them. Na-yoon notes that the readers desire extreme characters and endless harems within the story's narrative. She observes that readers prefer heroine-type characters over ordinary comrades, making her next move very clear.
Na-yoon smiles with newfound determination, satisfied that she has finally figured out her survival strategy.
Na-yoon reaffirms her plan to exploit the conman's connections before eventually becoming an independent player.
Na-yoon laments that her role has shifted from a minor companion to a full-blown main heroine.
Na-yoon plans to befriend key heroes to prevent the world's end, though her assumptions are tested. A hand wreathed in intense flames reaches out, signaling the start of a sudden, dangerous confrontation.
Na-yoon is caught off guard as Yuri appears before her, radiating a fierce and fiery aura.
Yuri angrily yells that someone never changes, causing Na-yoon to recoil in genuine and visible shock. Na-yoon panics internally, wondering how her situation spiraled out of control so quickly and so disastrously. The scene transitions to 1 hour earlier, showing Na-yoon's hands gripping the handles of a door.
Na-yoon finishes packing her belongings while wearing her academy uniform and standing before a large ornate wardrobe.
Na-yoon checks her phone, anticipating a scheduled event to meet the main characters on the first day.
Na-yoon recalls that the protagonist uses Training Room 7 and prepares to intercept him for her plan.
Na-yoon bites her phone in deep thought, carefully calculating her next move within the academy's halls.
Na-yoon walks through the hall, worried that the conman might have already met with the protagonist.
Na-yoon decides to reserve a training room and wait since the academy halls are currently very quiet. Na-yoon hears someone discussing a plan nearby and stops to investigate the source of the unexpected conversation.
Na-yoon spies on Na-yuan from behind a pillar, finally locating the conman and his companion.
Na-yuri questions Yuhan's presence without the protagonist while Yuhan nonchalantly defends his right to be there.
Na-yuhan dismissively asks what is so strange about a student using the academy's designated training facilities.
Na-yoon observes the pair from her hiding spot, realizing the girl beside Yuhan is a key character.
Na-yuri remains suspicious of Yuhan's motives while Na-hyun finally understands the context of their tense encounter.
Na-hyun recognizes the confrontation event with Na-yuri, who accuses Yuhan of coming to mess with her. Na-yuhan claims he came to train, but Na-yuri internally dismisses his statement as a lie. Na-yuri mocks Yuhan's claim of training, but Yuhan insists it is true since he reserved the room.
Na-hyun recalls Yuhan's original game strategy to bait Na-yuri into an attack so the hero could save her.
Na-yuhan calls her words mean while Na-hyun, hiding nearby, prepares to intervene in their manipulative exchange. Na-yuri angrily orders Yuhan to leave, sensing that he is once again scheming behind his deceptive words.
Na-yuhan prepares to make his move, deciding that the current moment is the perfect time to act.
Na-yuri aggressively tells Yuhan that someone of his reputation does not belong in the academy's training hall.
Na-yoon suddenly leaps between the two characters, startling Na-yuri with her unexpected and bold public intervention.
Na-yuhan appears genuinely surprised by Na-hyun's interference, noting that he does not particularly like the current development. Na-yuhan decides to go along with the situation, offering to assist Na-hyun's plan for the time being. Na-yeon confronts Na-yuri, questioning if her harsh words toward Yuhan are going a bit too far.
Na-yoon steps between the two siblings, creating a tense silence in the training hall.
Na-yuri demands to know why Na-hyun is defending someone as troublesome as Yuhan.
Na-yoon recognizes Yuri as Yuhan's twin and decides to feign ignorance about their history. Na-hyun boldly defends Yuhan's character, much to the silent surprise of the young man.
She argues that Yuhan is misunderstood and maintains that training facilities are open to everyone.
Yuri insists on valid reasons for room use while Yuhan asserts he was actually training. Na-yoon feels the weight of the argument but remains steadfast in her support for Yuhan. She internally resolves to stay allied with the conman to navigate the current situation.
Na-yoon questions the severity of Yuri's accusations, prompting a skeptical reaction from the blonde girl.
Yuri asks if she truly knows him, and Na-yoon confidently claims she understands his nature.
Na-hyun lists several fabricated virtues about Yuhan, leaving both of the siblings completely bewildered.
Yuhan is visibly confused as Na-hyun paints him as a selfless and dedicated academy student.
Yuri scoffs at the description, clearly seeing through Na-hyun's overly optimistic assessment of her brother.
She warns Na-hyun that she is merely being manipulated by Yuhan's deceptive and cunning nature.
Yuri silences Yuhan's attempts to defend his changes and roughly grabs Na-yoon to intervene.
She accuses Yuhan of finding a new victim, while Na-yoon senses a dangerous shift in energy.
Yuri recounts their mother's attempt to reform Yuhan as sparks begin to fly from her eyes.
Fierce flames erupt from Yuri's hands as she screams that her brother will never truly change.
Yuri's expression is consumed by a blinding rage as her fiery power continues to surge.
Na-yoon recoils in horror as the confrontation escalates into a potentially lethal display of magic.
Yuri prepares to strike while Na-yoon desperately pleads for her to stop the violent assault.
A calm student with deep blue hair watches the chaotic scene unfold nearby.
The blue-haired student effortlessly neutralizes Yuri's intense flame attack with a single, precise gesture.
He calmly reminds her of the specific academy regulations regarding the use of combat skills.
A mental reference displays the strict rules governing training room conduct and student ability improvement.
The intervened student stands tall, commanding respect as Nayun and Yuhan watch him in awe.
He declares that the flames have been extinguished and forbids any further unauthorized offensive actions.
He questions if Yuri has forgotten the rules, asserting his authority over the volatile situation.
The blue-haired student Park Si-woo remains composed despite the tension radiating from the others.
The four students stand together in a moment of forced peace following the sudden intervention.
Siwoo tells Yuri that her powers weren't meant for hurting people, causing her to blush.
Yuri insists she is aware of the rules as the group finally begins to de-escalate. Frustrated and embarrassed, Yuri turns away and storms out of the training hall alone.
Nayun watches her leave, noting that the blonde heroine is just as volatile as expected.
Nayun reflects on the stroke of luck that brought the protagonist to their rescue.
Yuhan thanks Siwoo for saving him from his sister's wrath while Nahyun looks on happily.
Yuhan tries to play off his intervention as a simple desire to avoid legal complications. A cynical internal monologue dismisses Yuhan's excuse as a transparent lie for his true motives.
Siwoo acknowledges the risk he took, while Nayun realizes he was worried about Yuhan's safety.
Nayun gushes over Siwoo's pure heart and his refusal to boast about his heroic deeds.
The three students stand in a stylized, bright atmosphere as Naheen continues her enthusiastic praise.
Nayun wonders if this stoic protagonist is actually feeling embarrassed by her constant compliments.
Yuhan and Nayun observe Siwoo, who seems increasingly flustered by the attention he is receiving.
Nahyun declares him the moral compass of their era and the ideal model of a student. Siwoo is visibly overwhelmed as Nahyun elevates his status to that of a future hunter idol.
She continues to celebrate how his actions have made a massive impact on the entire academy.
Siwoo finally silences her by covering her mouth, desperate to stop the flow of embarrassing praise.
An internal thought reveals a hidden desire to tease the protagonist further during their encounter.
Siwoo looks away bashfully, unable to handle the intense and genuine admiration from his classmates.
The group walks together through the night, with the tension of the day finally replaced by peace.
Nayun asks Siwoo if he was heading to train, as she notes their casual conversation flows naturally. Siwoo explains he was in the training hall but sensed Mana nearby, which surprises the group.
Walking through the academy grounds at night, Nayun asks if making the flame disappear was a special skill. Siwoo clarifies it was just a small trick that becomes easy with Mana proficiency.
Yuhan tells Nahyun not to be fooled as it is an advanced technique, while Nahyun internally praises Siwoo as an unknowing genius. Siwoo bashfully asks her to stop her excessive compliments. Siwoo waves goodbye to the pair, concluding their meeting for the night with a parting word.
Nahyun waves enthusiastically at Siwoo, admitting she didn't understand his explanation while hoping this event provides enough content.
A close-up of Nayun shows her suddenly remembering that she still has important tasks to complete.
Yuhan asks what brought her to the training grounds, and Nayun's spunky reply is that she came to train.
Nayun clings to Yuhan's arm with a charming smile, resolving to earn heroine appeal points with the young man.
Yuhan becomes visibly flustered and breaks into a sweat as he reacts to Nahyun's sudden physical proximity.
Nayeon gets frustrated by Yuhan's lack of reaction, complaining that even his sister wouldn't behave this way. A narrator's thought bubble explains that most students usually take time to rest on their first day.
Nayun looks up at Yuhan with a playful, skeptical expression, noting that he also chose to come out. An internal monologue reflects that this event normally only involves the protagonist and Yuri without any extras.
Nayun reflects on how her presence as an extra character has suddenly changed the course of the narrative.
Nayun's internal thoughts emphasize the need to build connections with the scammer without raising any early suspicions.
Yuhan admits he hadn't planned on visiting the training hall today, rubbing the back of his neck awkwardly.
Yuhan turns to Nayun with a look of genuine surprise, questioning if she changed her mind because of him.
Nayun recalls seeing Yuhan help classmates earlier and explains it inspired her to step forward and train immediately.
Nayun realizes that framing her change of heart as a reaction to his existence is a very convincing strategy. A mental bubble notes that Yuhan is halfway convinced and it is time to finalize the manipulation.
Nayun leans in and tells Yuhan that her motivation is all thanks to him, leaving him slightly stunned.
Nayun encourages herself internally, acknowledging that the path to becoming a main heroine is a long journey.
Framed by flowers, Nayun offers a radiant smile while telling Yuhan that he is truly an amazing person.
Nahyun declares her belief in the Yuhan she has personally seen, regardless of what others might say about him.
Yuhan stares back with an unreadable expression, his red eyes focused intensely on Nahyun in the moonlight.
Under the night sky, Nayun suggests they both do their best together, and Yuhan simply agrees with her.
Nahyun and Yuhan walk together through a floral atmosphere, with Nahyun hoping her hard work is being noticed.
A system notification greets the new students as a new day begins at the academy.
Sunlight shines through the ornate windows of the Academy's Grand Hall during a formal morning gathering.
An instructor in a white and black uniform addresses the students about gaining experience and preparing for midterms. The instructor explains that current class assignments are temporary and will be reassigned based on upcoming monster combat exams. The students, including Nahyun and Yuhan, shout in unison as they acknowledge the instructor's stern orders. Nahyun reflects on the fact that it has already been 4 days since her life at the academy began. Standing with Yuhan and Siwoo, Nahyun notes she has successfully exchanged contacts with both the scammer and the protagonist. A hand tightly grips a glowing blue blade as Nahyun recalls Yuhan's suggestion to start training 3 days ago. Siwoo is shown enveloped in a powerful blue aura during a private training session that the three shared. Nahyun and Yuhan cheer enthusiastically for Siwoo, with Nahyun loudly complimenting his impressive physical condition and muscles. Yuen praises Nahyun's weapon combos, and she excitedly mentions she has been practicing diligently since the previous day. Yuhan suggests a 2-on-1 practice match against Siwoo while internally planning to use him for a future dungeon.
Nahyun nods to herself, satisfied that coming to the training hall was the correct decision for her survival.
Yuri's blonde hair is shown as Nahyun observes that her plan to build golden connections is going smoothly. Looking over the crowd, Nahyun realizes that Yuri has been constantly watching her since their first encounter. Nahyun notices Yuri hiding behind another student, looking suspicious as she slowly moves closer to her target. A frantic internal thought wonders why Yuri is targeting Nahyun specifically instead of her brother, the actual scammer. The instructor announces a simple test involving weapon aptitude and tells the students to choose from the armory. Students discuss their weapon choices while Nahyun stands behind them, carefully observing the variety of equipment available. Nahyun watches as other students argue about the difficulty of choosing between many different types of bows. Walking forward, Nahyun reflects on how a person's social background still plays a significant role in their success. Nahyun walks past struggling students, noting that those from Awakened families are far more comfortable handling real weapons. Nahyun realizes that without her unique meta system, she would be just as lost as the other beginners. A hand reaches toward weapon options as Nahyun wonders if only one sniper rifle is available. Nahyun recoils in surprise as Yuhan suddenly appears behind her with his arms crossed.
Nahyun enthusiastically greets Yuhan, identifying him internally as her primary source of support.
Yuhan advises Nahyun to try a shorter firearm since her class provides universal weapon buffs. Nahyun looks up with a suspicious expression, wondering what Yuhan is planning with his advice. Nahyun internally commands her system to display the status window of the nearby equipment. Nahyun observes several glowing weapon holograms as she asks Yuhan if he has chosen one. Nahyun holds a small firearm and tilts her head, questioning the unconventional recommendation he gave.
Yuhan offers a knowing smile, confirming his confidence in the specific weapon choice for her.
Yuhan reaches into his inventory to retrieve a small glowing item for his own use. Nahyun looks on in total shock as Yuhan pulls out a glowing cylindrical object. A glowing blue graphic displays various weapons while explaining the purpose of the aptitude test. Students watch from a balcony as an instructor monitors several blue slimes in a rin. A text box explains that the class roles are divided into 3 distinct categories. Siwoo effortlessly tears a target apart with a spear, shocking the onlookers with his power. Siwoo stands calmly as his standard-issue spear loses its durability and begins to vanish. A close-up shot shows Siwoo walking away from the training area after his impressive demonstration. Onlookers cheer for Siwoo while the instructor looks at a tablet and calls for silence. Yuhan watches the protagonist from a distance, acknowledging the boy's monstrous physical specifications and talent. Yuhan reflects on Siwoo's broken ability to wield any weapon perfectly using his specialized skill. Yuri storms past Yuhan, her blonde hair flowing as she maintains a cold, distant expression. Yuri glares at Yuhan with intense rage, causing him to sweat under her piercing gaze. The instructor announces that the dealers should remain while all other students wait upstairs. Yuhan waves goodbye to Nahyun as he notes how she follows him like a chick. Nahyun walks away as Yuhan reflects on the difficulty and high resource cost of her class. Yuhan senses Yuri's sharp stare and wonders what she is thinking as they walk apart.
Yuri calls out to Yuhan, asking if he feels any pity for the girl he is manipulating.
Yuhan feigns ignorance, prompting an angry outburst from Yuri as she confronts his deceptive behavior. Yuri recalls Yuhan's past actions, accusing him of playing with people as if they were toys. Yuhan watches Yuri walk away, reflecting on her previous question about whether he would kill her. Yuhan resolves to eventually fix his relationship with Yuri after witnessing her overwhelming visceral hatred. Yuhan observes a training area filled with fire, wondering if a demi-human can even be repaired. Yuri brutally beats a practice target while Yuhan fears she is imagining him in its place. Yuhan breaks into a cold sweat as he watches the violent intensity of his sister's training. A thought bubble expresses Yuhan's fear of potentially dying at Yuri's hands before winning a favor. A stylized illustration depicts the tanker role, characterized by high defense and heavy equipment. Yuhan stands confidently among other students, identifying himself as a supporter who faces simulated monsters. The instructor tops a blue slime, explaining that supporters must weaken or enhance the stationary target.
Yuhan raises his hand, requesting the instructor to change the format of the practical test.
The instructor asks Yuhan why he wants a change while Yuhan wears a confident smirk.
Yuhan stands tall with a hand on his chest, ready to explain his tactical request.
A mental thought explains that Yuhan's specific class, the commander, focuses primarily on managing people.
An emblem featuring 2 crossed white flags displays the official symbol for the commander class.
A tactical map shows chess pieces and targets, illustrating the commander's role and planning strategy.
A glowing figure stands in the darkness, representing the dealer class valued above all others.
Yuhan reflects on the commander's ability to read the battlefield and overturn the tide of combat.
A text bubble notes that no one in this world possesses Yuhan's unique meta-knowledge.
Yuhan resolves to show everyone the true power of his class through a practical demonstration.
Nahyun looks at Yuan in confusion as he prepares to use a specific, unexpected item.
Yuhan holds up a small red flag, explaining its significance to a skeptical and confused Nahyun.
Issuing commands with the flag, Yuhan proposes a live sparring test against other students.
Dismissing stationary targets, Yuhan seeks efficiency while the instructor ponders the request for a spar. The instructor grants the request and calls for a tanker to volunteer against the commander.
An angry student shouts his desire to crush the smug expression on Yuhan's face. Aggressive students argue over who gets the chance to personally beat down the arrogant noble.
Noting Yuhan's popularity, the instructor allows him to select his own opponent for the upcoming duel.
Yuhan maintains a confident posture as he prepares to choose his target from the crowd.
Yuhan taunts a large student, claiming the boy's massive frame makes him an easy target.
Having selected his opponent, Yuhan smiles while the instructor questions if he actually has teammates.
Yuhan considers the logic of pulling a partner from Class D to match his opponent.
Yuhan confirms he has a partner, though he admits he would have preferred Park Si-woo.
Surprised onlookers watch as Yuhan begins to announce the identity of his chosen teammate.
With a flourish, Yuhan introduces Kang Nahyun as the partner who will join his fight.
A narration predicts a stunning victory for the pairing of an overlooked commander and a sniper.
A thought bubble anticipates that this unusual matchup will create a very sensational headline.
The 3 students stand in the arena under the watchful eyes of their gathered classmates.
Nahyun nervously questions the wisdom of fighting a Class D opponent who seems so powerful.
A mental note explains that the crowd would never expect him to choose such an opponent. Offering a reassuring head pat, Yuhan tells Nahyun to simply trust in his tactical leadership. A text box explains that Nahyun's earnest concern prompted Yuhan's affectionate and encouraging gesture.
Blushing deeply from the sudden physical contact, Nahyun shyly agrees to follow Yuhan's lead.
Leaving the flustered girl behind, Yuhan steps forward to face the large student alone.
Kim Chol-soo questions why a supporter class character would step to the front of the battlefield. A detailed status window displays the stats and skills of Kim Chol-soo, a level 10 shield bearer. Tapping his flag, Yuhan evaluates the tanker's solid physical stats against his low agility score. Yuhan offers a predatory grin, internally noting that his opponent's power is sufficient for his needs. Screaming in rage, Kim Chol-soo charges forward, accusing Yuhan of looking down on his abilities. A narration notes that one punch from the massive student could end Yuhan's fragile body.
As the fist nears, the narration emphasizes that the spar would conclude with a single hit.
Yuhan dodges the heavy strike with effortless precision, leaving the massive tanker stunned by his speed. The earth shatters beneath Chol-soo's fist as he misses his target and strikes the ground instead. Shocked by the evasion, Chol-soo curses at Yuhan as the commander looms calmly behind him. With glowing red eyes, Yuhan mocks his opponent for being far too slow to hit him.
Yuhan continues to taunt the larger boy, wearing a menacing smile while repeating his insult.
Gritting his teeth in frustration, Chol-soo struggles to regain his composure against the faster opponent.
Chol-soo launches another desperate attack, refusing to believe that Yuhan's dodge was anything but pure luck.
A narration explains that Chol-soo's heavy equipment creates a slight opening Yuhan can easily exploit.
A cold question asks who would allow the tanker to land such a predictable and slow blow.
Moving with supernatural grace, Yuhan weaves through a flurry of attacks without breaking a sweat.
The scene flashes with red energy as Yuhan continues to toy with his frustrated attacker.
The tanker remains on one knee in the center of the arena while Yuhan watches nearby.
Breathing heavily, Chol-soo glares up at the commander, unable to understand the gap in their speed.
Yuhan stares back with a calm, analytical gaze, completely unfazed by the tanker's raw physical power.
Screaming a death threat, Chol-soo charges again while Yuhan dismisses the outburst as merely scary. Yuhan moves in close and asks if the tanker has forgotten something vital about their engagement.
A massive burst of red light erupts as Chol-soo is sent reeling back from a sudden impact.
Yuan stands triumphantly, his red eyes glowing as he prepares to finalize the outcome of the spar.
Emerging with a handgun, Nahyun receives praise for her timing and natural talent with firearms.
Nahyun stands ready in the arena, her eyes focused intently on the target as she aims.
Defeated and exhausted, Kim Chol-soo collapses onto the floor while muttering Yuhan's name in total disbelief. Yuhan stands over his defeated opponent, resolving to focus on the immediate challenge at hand. Expecting a reaction, Yuhan taunts the fallen tanker by asking if he still intends to kill him.
Consumed by rage, Kim Chol-soo activates a berserk skill that wreathes his body in volatile red energy.
Narration explains that neither Yuhan nor Na-yoon could independently penetrate the tanker's incredible physical defense.
Preparing to combine her firearm skills with Yuhan's support, Na-yoon readies her weapon for a final strike.
Activating his enhancement skill, Yuhan confidently challenges the massive student to launch his best attack.
A violent explosion of red energy erupts as the tanker is overwhelmed by the unexpected counterattack.
Yuri watches the intense battle from the sidelines, urging the other students to observe the demonstration.
Within a strategic mental projection, Yuhan visualizes his command overcoming the tanker's raw physical power.
A massive surge of blue magical energy signals the decisive conclusion of the combat test. A triumphant thought emphasizes that a low-ranked student can overcome a higher-ranked opponent through strategy.
A system notification officially declares Yuhan's victory as the blinding flash of the attack fades.
Dust and debris settle across the training arena following the commander's overwhelming tactical display. The instructor intervenes to end the spar, declaring the demonstration sufficient to evaluate Yuhan's capabilities. Na-yoon quickly hides her handgun behind her back, realizing that the outcome was exactly as predicted.
Na-yoon confronts Yuhan for manipulating the plan from the start, admitting he actually scared her.
Yuhan instructs Na-yoon on her movements while she demands a heads-up before his next reckless stunt.
Na-yoon reflects on how Yuhan's assertive actions differ from his role in the original story.
Originally, Yuhan's partner was meant to be a stoic warrior, leaving Na-yoon questioning his trust in her. Glancing at the smug commander, Na-yoon internally labels him a gambling-addicted masochist for his risky tactics.
Na-yoon offers a sheepish expression after realizing her outburst might have been a bit too much. Charging toward the commander, Na-yoon tells herself to stop getting distracted and focus on the moment.
Na-yoon's boot strikes the floor with a heavy thud as she makes her final move. Overjoyed by their success, Na-yoon tackles Yuhan into a hug while celebrating their win against Class D. Clinging to Yuhan, Na-yoon credits his plan for their victory while he focuses on gathering rewards.
Yuhan breaks into a cold sweat, visibly shaken by the sudden and intense physical contact from Na-yoon.
Noting his racing heartbeat, Na-yoon begins to wonder if Yuhan is actually more flustered than he looks.
Na-yoon realizes with shock that the confident commander has absolutely no tolerance for physical contact with girls. She finds it ironic that the boy who comfortably patted her head is now completely paralyzed.
While Na-yoon continues her affectionate display, the instructor clears his throat to get their attention. The instructor tells them to vacate the floor while the crowd teases them about being a couple.
Na-yoon hides her blushing face in shame as the onlookers cheer for the supposed Class F couple.
Na-yoon curses her own behavior, realizing she went too far while trying to tease the commander. The scene shifts to a quiet evening at the academy as the sun begins to set.
Na-yoon sits alone in her room, struggling with self-loathing despite earning a large amount of points.
Trying to stay positive, Na-yoon recalls that the student comments during the spar weren't entirely negative.
Reading through the digital forum, Na-yoon confidently agrees with users who claim she is a must-recruit hero.
Na-yoon concludes that the substantial reward points were a fair trade for her public embarrassment.
After reviewing various records, Na-yoon notices there is only one unconfirmed appearance part left to check.
She sighs deeply, identifying the final record as the part of the story she has been avoiding. Despite her hesitation to read the academy record, Na-yoon prepares to face the information she has ignored. Resolving to only watch what is strictly necessary, Na-yoon prepares to activate the digital archive. Steeling her nerves, Na-yoon decides to speed read the final entry to get it over with quickly.
The archive details the day the protagonist met Yuri at the training grounds during the entrance ceremony. Na-yoon recalls her initial plan to insert herself into the main story and befriend Park Si-woo.
A close-up shows Na-yoon's long hair catching the light as she ponders her place in the world.
A stark realization notes that Kang Na-yoon was merely an extra who never existed in the original.
A single haunting question remains as to why Na-yoon's role has changed so drastically. Na-yoon questions her own motivations for choosing to stand by Yuhan's side against all expectations. Staring into the distance, Na-yoon remains stunned by the shift in her destiny within this new reality.
The girl defends the commander's character, making him wonder if she is protecting him. The black-haired commander notes that he successfully brought the protagonist out despite the girl's appearance.
Glowering intensely, the commander realizes that something about the original story has fundamentally changed.
The blonde girl questions the commander's presence at the training grounds as reality shifts around them.
A system notification displays a strict contract regarding party secrecy, skill disclosure, and loot distribution. Reading the magical contract, the girl decides to play along with the commander's obvious trickery. Noticing his predatory expression, the girl suggests the commander should try to act more natural.
The commander reveals a hidden dungeon located within the academy, shocking his brown-haired teammate. Predicting the dungeon's appearance today, the commander ignores the girl's questioning of his knowledge. The commander claims his foresight is a special skill, leaving his partner in absolute awe.
Crossing his arms, the commander declares they will clear the dungeon rather than report it.
Overcome by anxiety, the girl argues that all dungeons are dangerous while the commander remains calm.
Narrowing her eyes, the girl focuses intently on the commander as she evaluates his hidden plans. A thought bubble suggests the commander has a secret trick to clear the first hidden dungeon.
Strategy is revealed to be a simple hit-and-run tactic that will be explained upon arrival. While the girl resolves to increase her stats, the commander dismissively agrees with her determination.
A bright flash of energy announces that the time for leveling up has finally arrived. Digital comments discuss the commander's sudden rise in popularity and his supposed new era of greatness. A celebratory graphic featuring the girl mentions her name alongside the commander's in a pink-themed backdrop. The commander asks if she enjoys the rewards while she marvels at her accumulated meta points. Smirking, the girl notes that only she can see the impressive point total she has earned.
An intense blonde student bursts through the doors, interrupting the duo's quiet moment at the desk. Startled by the sudden intrusion, the blonde student stares at the pair with a fierce expression. The blonde girl calls for the brown-haired student, startling the commander and his teammate.
Approaching the desk with heavy footsteps, the blonde girl demands to speak with the brown-haired student.
The blonde student's red eyes glow with intensity as she stares down at her carpet. Closing his eyes, the commander coldly states that he has absolutely nothing to say to her.
The blonde girl demands that the student follow her, leaving the commander behind and confused. Leading the student away, the blonde girl ignores the commander's wave and his partner's vocal protest. A thought bubble notes that the blonde girl appears to be completely and utterly upset. The scene transitions to the clear blue sky above the academy as time passes.
Standing in the garden, the brown-haired girl asks what the blonde student needed to discuss. Warning that she might sound strange, the blonde girl prepares to share her honest concerns.
Looking down solemnly, the blonde girl insists she must speak for the other students' well-being.
The blonde girl explicitly states that she does not believe the commander has truly changed.
She argues that his past behavior ruined lives and his current attitude cannot be trusted. The blonde student claims that everyone avoids the commander because he has hurt so many people.
Recalling the commander's dark history, the girl wonders if this information was in the unread chapters.
The student internalizes the description of the commander as a scumbag who enjoyed manipulating others.
The blonde girl notes one exception where the commander personally approached and made an effort for someone. A somber close-up reveals the blonde girl's internal pain as she recounts the past.
The student listens with wide eyes, stunned by the dark revelations regarding the commander's past.
Narrating over a silhouette, the girl explains how the commander made people dependent on him alone.
A text bubble labels the victim of the commander's manipulation as a naive and foolish child. Yuri reveals that the manipulated student died, leaving the listener in a state of total shock.
The two girls stand in silence amidst the garden as the heavy truth settles between them.
Clenching her bleeding fist, Yuri asserts she knows exactly who she is dealing with.
A thought bubble expresses a desperate hope that the commander has actually changed for the better.
Shaking with emotion, Yuri looks away, unable to fully contain her anger and sadness. The brown-haired girl stares in silence, finally understanding the source of the blonde student's hatred.
Narrative text recalls how the blonde girl alone resisted Na-Yuhan's rise within the academy.
Standing in the garden, Na-Hyun reflects on the blonde student's tragic and previously hidden history. Facing the blonde student, Na-Hyun wonders how to handle her intense and suspicious nature effectively.
While Na-Hyun calls for help, Yuhan ponders why the rule-following Yuri is so persistent.
Yuhan acts helpless, which only serves to annoy Na-Hyun as she attempts to resolve things. Sweating under the intense pressure, Na-Hyun evaluates the blonde girl's claims with deep concern.
Narrative bubbles suggest Na-Hyun's very existence triggers a deep-seated defensive reaction in Na-Yuri. Na-Hyun pities Yuri's night of turmoil and wishes she could explain that Yuhan has changed.
Na-Hyun resolves not to leave her partner alone despite Yuri's warnings about his dark past.
Yuri admits she lacks current proof, but maintains that she knows the commander's true nature.
Text bubbles reflect on people possessed by a desperation so strong they would die for it.
Yuri claims she knows exactly what those desperate eyes look like from her own past.
Staring at Na-Hyun, Yuri says the brown-haired girl's eyes look exactly like those of the desperate.
Light filters through the trees as Na-Hyun listens silently to Yuri's heavy and surprising revelation.
Yuri admits it would be heartbreaking if her perception of Yuhan's current state was wrong.
Na-Hyun decides to trust that the commander is no longer the person who hurts others. Shifting the tone, Na-Hyun asks Yuri to become her protector instead of acting as an antagonist.
Narrative bubbles discuss the potential consequences if the commander truly hasn't changed for the better.
Na-Hyun proposes that Yuri should punish the commander only if he actually tries to cause harm.
Yuri labels the brown-haired girl an absolute idiot for trusting the commander so confidently.
Shaking with emotion, Yuri warns that people should never be trusted so easily in this world.
Smiling warmly, Na-Hyun expresses her genuine happiness that the smart Yuri is worried about her. Wiping away tears, Yuri reluctantly agrees to take responsibility for protecting her new, naive friend.
Yuhan reflects on his progress, noting that Yuri is finally acting exactly as he originally intended.
Yuri suggests they exchange numbers and begin eating lunch together to maintain their protective bond.
A cat-eared girl watches the pair from the trees as her long tail twitches rhythmically. A magical system notification appears, confirming that a rare fragment of the story was obtained.
Nahyun offers an open line of communication for Yuri to share any future worries freely.
Yuri doubles down on her protective stance, insisting that Nahyun must contact her for safety.
The duo discusses meeting Hana as Yuri becomes unexpectedly excited at the prospect of visiting.
Noting Yuri's sudden change in mood, Nahyun decides to go along with her enthusiastic reaction.
A soft pink-themed glow surrounds Yuri as she displays a rare moment of pure happiness.
A heavy boot clicks against the carpet as someone approaches the two girls in the hallway.
Nahyun and Yuri stop in their tracks as they sense a familiar presence nearby.
The black-haired commander greets them in the hallway, curious about where they have been.
Nahyun immediately identifies the commander's casual lies as he tries to hide his real motives.
Yuri abruptly declares that she will join the duo's training sessions from this point forward.
The commander smiles, appearing quite intrigued by the idea of training with the blonde student.
Yuri is blunt about her intentions while her new friend pulls her into a hug.
While hugging Nahyun, Yuri warns the commander not to attempt any trickery with her friend.
In a chibi scene, Yuri warns the commander not to pull any tricks under their new training arrangement.
Yuhan calmly agrees to meet later, unbothered by Yuri's intense and protective verbal warnings.
Waving energetically, Nahyun says goodbye as Yuri walks away from their meeting in the hallway.
Feeling drained, Nahyun reflects on how Yuri treats every interaction as a life-or-death situation.
The commander questions the sudden friendliness between the two girls as soon as Yuri leaves.
Nahyun defends the blonde girl's character, telling the commander that Yuri is a good person.
Yuhan reflects on how his plan to hide his identity as a scammer is working perfectly.
The commander prepares to move forward, focusing on the final academy record left to check.
A gloved hand reaches out and firmly grasps the golden handle of a large wooden door.
Nahyun looks on with uncertainty as the commander leads her into the hidden training hall.
Realizing he is late for class, the brown-haired girl's eye widens in sudden shock.
A massive, muscular instructor berates the duo for their bold behavior and lack of punctuality.
Looming over the students, the instructor punishes them with cleaning duty for their tardiness.
A spiky text bubble captures Nahyun's inner scream as she realizes her massive mistake. Narrative text notes that the current events successfully appealed to the story's main heroine. As they begin cleaning, Nahyun is stunned to see her meta points suddenly tumble.
Looking away, Nahyun suspects that something more than just the points is currently changing.
A system notification announces that Nahyun has successfully obtained a rare fragment of the story.
Attempting to update the system, Nahyun learns she lacks the necessary information to proceed.
The system explains that story fragments can be checked through a limited appearance menu. Nahyun accesses the appearance part menu to investigate the newly unlocked narrative details. Yuhan reflects on his internal state while standing alone under the garden's leafy shadows.
Remembering Nahyun's defensive words, the commander snaps back to his senses amidst the trees.
Narrative text explains that Nahyun treats the past and current Yuhan as different people.
The commander's calm profile reveals him processing the weight of his partner's unwavering trust.
Yuhan reflects on Nahyun's request for Yuri to protect her from his own past.
Nahyun's bright and genuine smile lingers in the commander's thoughts as he evaluates her.
Yuhan labels Nahyun an absolute idiot for making such a foolish and dangerous deal.
Narrative bubbles describe Nahyun as a naive and easy-to-use extra character within the story.
Despite his internal conflict, the commander insists that his fundamental views have not changed.
Gazing at the sky, Yuhan wonders if selfless people could ever exist in reality.
Focusing on a single leaf, the commander reflects on the fleeting nature of this world.
A flashback highlights the sparkling moment of friendship between the two girls in the garden.
Standing in the courtyard, Yuhan watches a falling leaf as he ponders his unique situation.
A distant view shows the two girls sharing a celebratory hug on the academy lawn.
A system graphic confirms the acquisition of a mysterious fragment of the unfolding story. A red-haired girl with cat ears watches the group from the bushes, intrigued by them.
Lounging in the foliage, the cat beastkin recalls past scandals while observing the private scene.
The mysterious girl decides to move closer and watch the children's next moves more carefully.
Nahyun realizes that a wind-handling cat beastkin was also eavesdropping on their private garden conversation.
Nahyun recalls the pleasant breeze, realizing it was created by the cat girl's presence nearby.
Narrative bubbles note that this unpredictable character appeared much earlier than in the original timeline.
Nahyun considers if the cat girl's early arrival will be a positive or negative development. Checking the digital comments, Nahyun is shocked by the reader's sudden obsession with her. The online audience reacts enthusiastically to the commander's charisma and Nahyun's bold choices.
Staring at the system window, Nahyun is overwhelmed by the fiery reactions from the readers.
Nahyun worries about her rising popularity, hoping reader interest will fade when more heroines appear. Walking through the hall, Nahyun grumbles about being forced to clean for being late.
Nahyun finds it ironic that the legendary protagonist is being forced to perform manual labor.
Yuhan suggests resting since class isn't over, but Nahyun accuses him of slacking off.
Nahyun hesitates, wondering if now is the right time to bring up Yuri's warnings.
Stealing her resolve, Nahyun calls out to the commander as they finish their cleaning.
Clutching her chest, Nahyun admits she heard about the horrible things he did long ago.
Nahyun stands shocked at her own bluntness as the commander listens in silence. Nahyun quickly explains that she wants Yuri to see his current, better self for herself.
The commander dismisses his sister's interest as negative, while Nahyun argues she is actually worried.
Walking away, Yuhan grumbles about the troublesome situation his new allies have created.
The commander cringes internally, hating that he actually verbalized his annoyance to his partner.
Yuhan focuses on the tasks ahead, preparing to navigate the Academy's complex social landscape.
The commander reflects on Nahyun's certainty that he will never betray her trust in them.
Yuhan stands before Nahyun, wondering if she intentionally accepted his obvious lie as a white lie.
Nahyun looks up at the commander with a puzzled expression, trying to process his ambiguous words.
Nahyun notices something strange about the back of the commander's neck, sparking her sudden and intense curiosity.
Yuhan leans in closely and lifts Nahyun's chin, prompting her to ask if he's being too close.
A chibi head of the brown-haired girl screams in utter shock at the commander's bold proximity.
The commander maintains his intimate face-to-face position while Nahyun remains completely frozen in wide-eyed shock. Internal thoughts reflect the brown-haired girl's panic over the commander being far too close to her person.
A black-gloved hand reaches out and gently pats the top of the brown-haired girl's head.
Yuhan pats Nahyun's head while she stammers his name, clearly confused by his sudden and affectionate gesture.
Smirking confidently, the commander continues patting Nahyun's head as she stares back at him in total disbelief.
Looking directly into Nahyun's eyes, Yuhan tells her she is unbearably adorable, leaving her completely stunned. Nahyun comically flails and hits Yuhan, shouting for him to stop flirting while blushing extremely deeply.
Nahyun covers her face in embarrassment, realizing she almost lost her temper and struck the commander.
Standing among garden vines, Nahyun prays for the patience required to deal with the annoying commander.
Warm sunlight filters through lush green leaves, marking a peaceful transition as the group prepares to move. A tall clock tower looms over the academy as Nahyun and Yuhan walk through the courtyard together. Yuri calls out to Nahyun as she stands beside the blue-eyed boy carrying a massive silver sword.
Nahyun waves energetically as she and Yuhan approach her waiting friends outside the main academy building.
Yuri insults the commander as trash and offers to dispose of him for her naive friend.
The blonde girl and Yuhan exchange sharp insults while Nahyun grows worried about the tense atmosphere.
Sibu suggests they all head to the training hall together, earning a playful nickname from Nahyun. Nahyun looks confused as she points out a strange red mark appearing on Yuri's school uniform. Yuri turns her head in surprise, noticing the faint red scratches manifesting on her own shoulder.
Reverting to a chibi form, Yuri yells in frustration about an annoying cat causing her trouble.
A gentle breeze carries leaves through the air as Nahyun reflects on Yuri's intense hatred for cats.
Perched high in the trees, a red-haired girl with cat ears laughs mischievously at the group below.
A heavy boot steps firmly onto the ground as wind and leaves swirl around the arriving person.
A loud voice announces its arrival as a sudden gust of wind kicks up dust and debris.
Nahyun looks back with a knowing expression, noting the cat girl arrived sooner than she had anticipated.
The red-haired beastkin lands gracefully on the lawn and greets the startled group with a cheerful wave.
Yuri glares with intense annoyance, asking Lady Choi what business she has bothering them at school.
Choi Si-jung claims she was looking for a training partner, but Yuri immediately identifies it as an excuse. Winking playfully, the cat-eared girl continues her obvious ruse while the narrative confirms she is lying. Glaring with deep distrust, Yuri remains silent as the cat girl asks to join their training session.
Nahyun cheerfully welcomes the newcomer while the blonde girl tries to warn her about the cat girl.
Sibu agrees that more allies are beneficial, much to the frustration of the increasingly upset blonde student.
Yuhan welcomes the new girl, while Nahyun realizes he's playing his role to attract potential heroine candidates.
The commander gazes at the cat beastkin with an intrigued smile, asking for her name directly.
Introducing herself as Choi Soo-jung, the red-haired girl leans in and confirms the commander's own identity.
Soo-jung leans into Yuhan with a flirtatious smile, leaving Nahyun in a state of utter shock. Soo-jung asks to be called by a cute nickname while Nahyun marvels at her incredible boldness.
Clinging to the commander, the cat girl smirks at Nahyun, who wonders if she's being kept in check.
Nahyun considers letting the cat girl have the commander before realizing being a heroine is truly exhausting.
Nahyun walks away while telling herself to stay focused for the sake of her younger brother's future. Looking over his shoulder, the blue-eyed boy reminds everyone that they are heading to training right now.
Nahyun thanks her friend for the intervention while the cat girl laughs and ends her playful joke.
Turning back with a soft expression, the red-haired cat girl offers a sincere apology to the brown-haired Nahyun.
Nahyun waves her hands dismissively, assuring Choi Soo-jung that there is no need for an apology.
Nahyun and the commander exchange confused glances as they watch the unpredictable cat girl's strange behavior.
Glaring from the shadows with glowing red eyes, Yuri appears extremely hostile toward the new arrival.
Na-yoon questions dating rumors while Soo-jung makes cat noises and the long day continues. A grand academy training hall stands empty and silent under the warm golden sunset.
Operating a digital terminal, Yuhan proposes a 5-person simulation featuring an outbreak gate scenario.
Siwoo objects to the proposed difficulty, suggesting they start with a simpler fixed-type gate. Scratching his neck, Siwoo argues that they should prioritize safety for the group's newcomers.
When Siwoo asks who locks gate experience, Na-hyun points to herself with wide-eyed surprise.
Yuhan reflects on how his teammates are adjusting the training specifically for the newbies' benefit. Narrative text explains that protruding gates only close once all monster waves are completely eliminated.
Information regarding fixed gates reveals they are random dungeons containing unique loot and special pieces.
The commander intends to farm fixed gates for hidden items he remembers from the original game.
A sinister tower looms as narration warns that outbreak gates will spread during the Doomsday plot. Clenching her fist, Yuri decides that practicing on fixed gates is a waste of effort. Na-yoon claps cheerfully, enthusiastically agreeing to test her skills against an outbreak gate simulation. Internal thoughts reflect Na-hyun's skepticism about how the commander intends to handle the training tonight. Yuhan questions his partner's resolve while Na-yoon confidently affirms her readiness to give her all. Na-yoon worries that her limited combat abilities might make her a burden to the team. As they walk, Na-yoon offers to teach Yuri more about gates during the simulation setup.
Contemplating her role, Na-yoon resolves to fake her heroine status and try her absolute hardest.
Soo-jung surprises the group by loudly announcing her intention to join the training session immediately.
Yuri insults the commander while he dismisses the idea of her following him any further. Pausing in the hallway, Na-hyun looks back over her shoulder with an expression of mild curiosity. The blue-eyed boy stands in a moment of quiet, intense contemplation before the training begins. Siwoo maintains his serious demeanor while preparing himself for the start of the simulated battle.
Looking toward her friend, Na-hyun wonders if Park Siwoo had something important to tell her.
Startled by a sudden call, Na-yoon turns around as the cat beastkin asks for attention.
The brown-haired girl's eyes widen in shock as she stops to look back at Siwoo. Standing before the console, Siwoo looks focused on the display while Na-hyun watches him curiously. Stylized golden text marks the transition as the group prepares for the simulated gate challenge. A digital hexagonal grid materializes, signaling the start of the advanced training hall's background generation. A dark portal opens within a ruined city as the system sets the difficulty to low. System notifications announce the initialization of 3 monster waves, starting with offensive-type creature spawns. Flying skeletal monsters erupt from the purple gate and soar over the simulated urban ruins. Packs of red-eyed wolves fill the dark streets as monster generation within the gate completes. A bright beam of energy snipes a flying monster through its core with perfect precision. Yuhan notes that while the monsters are fake, the simulation perfectly replicates a real battlefield. Impressed by her talent, the commander praises Na-hyun for hitting the core on her first attempt.
Brandishing her staff, Soo-jung complains about the gate type while preparing to join the fray.
As the low-rank gate manifests, Yuhan orders everyone to take their positions for the training.
A system prompt signals the start of Phase 1 as monsters surround the prepared students.
Moving with speed, the commander commands Yuri and Siwoo to hold their respective tactical positions.
Yuhan orders the team to brace themselves for the arrival of several incoming assault-type monsters.
The commander instructs the group to destroy enemy armor and escape the range of shockwaves. Looking fierce with glowing red eyes, Yuri confirms she understands the commander's specific combat orders. A massive explosion of power occurs as a character smashes into the ground with force. Engulfed in flames, a character performs a graceful mid-air flip while escaping a large creature. A precision sniper shot strikes a giant creature, causing it to let out a loud screech. The impact from the intense battle causes the simulated ground to fracture and shatter into pieces. A wider view shows the floor cracking apart under the pressure of the simulated combat. Yuri lands gracefully on the ground after an attack, her red eyes glowing with intensity. Yuhan smirks and wipes sweat from his face, thinking about how brutal the fight has become.
Yuhan orders the mage to use wind magic while Choi Soo-jung cheerfully accepts the command.
Swirling currents of wind magic gather around the cat beastkin as she prepares her next spell. The red-haired girl laughs mischievously as her wind magic successfully traps the flying skeletal monsters. Soo-jung poses playfully as the system confirms the first wave of the simulation is successfully completed. Focused intently on her target, Na-yoon activates her enhancement skill to prepare a precise sniper shot. Firing a powerful shot, Na-yoon strikes a monster while Yuhan observes the battlefield's shifting tactical state. Yuhan walks through the smoke with his flag as Na-yoon keeps her rifle ready for targets. A faint smile crosses the commander's face as he notes the team's coordination is remarkably stable. Yuhan notes that Soo-jung provides area coverage while Yuri focuses on delivering heavy single-hit damage. Yuhan observes that Na-hyun's versatility and the group's coordination make them a surprisingly effective unit.
Gripping his bloodied sword, Siwoo stands ready as Yuhan asks what he has discovered over there.
Yuhan marvels at Siwoo's quiet strength as the blue-eyed boy carries the weight of the team.
Narrator notes that the boy is already handling the Child of the Wind skill with impressive smoothness. Siwoo moves with fluid grace, his blade cutting through the packs of flaming wolves with incredible precision.
A narrative bubble emphasizes Siwoo's overwhelming prowess, describing him as a true monster on the battlefield.
The commander's internal thoughts reflect that Siwoo's growth has already exceeded his highest expectations for the session. Yuhan considers that this specific group of students possesses the potential to form an exceptionally powerful party. The commander notes that their long-term success depends entirely on Naheen continuing to develop her unique skills. Sujong excitedly praises the group's performance, noting how perfectly everyone is following Yuhan's tactical lead. Sujong anticipates a record clear time, but Yuhan warns her not to relax before Phase 1 ends. Narration explains that while outbreak waves usually require multiple parties, their group is managing it alone. Standing amidst the ruins, the commander reflects that the simulation is proceeding smoothly despite the adjusted difficulty. Yuhan alerts the team to the final wave of Phase 1 while Nayun confirms her readiness. A sudden change in the atmosphere causes the cat beastkin to look back in startled surprise.
Yuri warns that a monster has broken off and is charging directly toward Naheen's vulnerable rear position.
Nayun frantically reloads her rifle as the flying creature closes the distance with a menacing screech.
Nayeon confirms she is ready but panics when her shot fails to penetrate the monster's core. Turning around in concern, Yuhan notices Nayeon's exhaustion and wonders if her mana has been completely drained.
Yuhan realizes he overlooked Nayeon's low base stats as he cast a shield to protect her. Exhausted and out of mana, Nayun feels helpless as Yuhan desperately calls out her name for help.
The monster's fierce attack begins to crack the defensive barrier, threatening to break through at any moment.
A massive impact sends shockwaves through the area as the struggle between the shield and monster peaks. The monster is violently repelled as Yuhan stands his ground to protect the terrified Nahun behind him.
Siwoo remains silent, his intense gaze fixed on the battlefield as his presence fills the area.
The system announces the appearance of a low-rank city gate while Siwoo maintains his focused, silent demeanor.
Gripping his massive silver sword, Siwoo prepares to intervene in the battle with a cold, determined expression. Siwoo stands before his comrades, his arrival marking a decisive turn in the simulation's dangerous first phase.
Yuri rushes to check on Nayun while Yuhan silently notes the boy's incredible reflex speed.
Sujong asks if Nayun is okay as Yuri helps her up while Yuhan plans for the next phase. Yuhan Koldi decides to exclude the mana-depleted Nahun from the team, shifting to a 3-dealer formation. The commander assigns Siwoo the role of the vanguard to draw the focus of all incoming monsters.
Siwoo prepares for his new role while Yuhan orders Sujong and Yuri to provide him rear support.
Yuhan commands everyone to take their positions for Phase 2 while Yuri looks back at her friend.
Nayun insists she can still fight, but Yuhan bluntly points out that she has no mana remaining.
Looking stunned and hurt, Nayun is silenced as Yuhan ruthlessly calls her dead weight and orders rest.
A digital prompt signals a brief pause as the system prepares to load Phase 2 of training.
Nayun hesitates to use her mana potion in a simulation as new attack-type monsters begin to regenerate.
Flaming wolf monsters growl as the system officially signals the beginning of the simulation's challenging second phase.
Yuhan commands Yuri to lock down the front line while Siwoo prepares to deliver a finishing strike. Yuri unleashes her flames while the commander warns the team about monsters closing in from their left.
The red-eyed commander observes his team struggling as the simulation enters its most difficult stage.
Yuhan notes their disadvantage with Nahun down while a monster strikes Sujong as Yuri panics.
Standing amidst the chaotic simulated ruins, the commander stays near his exhausted partner for support. The black-haired man clicks his tongue in disappointment while deciding to end the training session.
A system display reveals the team successfully cleared Phase 1 but failed the second phase. Despite the failure, the red-haired cot beastkin remains cheerful and notes how close they were.
Yuri angrily blames Sujong's mistake for letting Nayun fall and ruining their chance at clearing.
The blonde girl apologizes while Naheen blames herself, even as Yuhan notes he fell too.
Yuri reassures her friend while the commander credits Nayun for the group's long survival time.
The blonde girl praises the brown-haired girl's impressive performance despite her status as a beginner.
Sujong internally marvels at Naheen's hidden talent while plotting to exploit her trusting and naive nature.
The cat beastkin asks for confirmation while the red-eyed commander responds with a knowing slice mark.
Yuhan remains vague but resolves to find a way to use the brown-haired girl's unique abilities.
The commander analyzes Nahun's exceptionally low stats, wondering how she maintained her mana for so long.
System data explains Nayun's perfect aim skill drains mana based on the level of accuracy correction.
Yuhan is amazed that Nahun didn't collapse sooner after firing a relentless barrage of mana bullets.
The commander realizes the only reason she lasted so long was due to a specific hidden factor.
Narrator explains Nayun's natural accuracy is so high that her skill requires almost no mana assistance. Looking stunned, the brown-haired girl reacts to the sudden realization of her own inherent tactical value.
Yuhan wonders why a character with such immense natural talent never appeared in the original story.
The commander smiles, satisfied with finding a hidden treasure and anticipating the raid scheduled for tonight.
The cat beastkin addresses her senior while the commander turns his attention back to the group. Standing tall, the black-haired man maintains a confident and charming expression after the training session ends.
A mysterious prompt asks if the student would like to experience a real, non-simulated gate challenge.
The scene shifts through a blur of vertical lines as time passes before the nightly meeting.
A close-up shows the brown-haired girl letting out a soft, skeptical sound regarding the commander's plans.
Nahyun suspects Yuhan is plotting trouble while he offers to take her somewhere special later tonight.
Looking suspicious, the green-eyed girl maintains a stern expression while listening to the commander's vague offer.
Nahyun's internal thoughts reflect her concern over her own poor stats and her performance during training.
Nahyun worries that failing to manage her mana will make her attacks useless against a monster's core.
A character's legs are visible as they approach, telling the girl not to stress over outcomes.
The brown-haired girl looks up in surprise as the blue-eyed boy kneels before her in concern.
Siwoo explains the purpose of practice and suggests that mana potions could help her last much longer.
A close-up highlights the intensity and sincerity within the blue-eyed boy's steady and focused gaze.
Siwoo remains kneeling in silence, his presence offering a quiet moment of support for his discouraged teammate.
Yuri encourages her friend while Siwoo nods in agreement, promising that her mana will eventually improve.
Nahyun smiles brightly, revealing her inner thoughts about faking her discouraged state to maintain her role.
Looking at her companions, the brown-haired girl feels touched by the kindness shown by her new friends.
Nahyun notes the group's kindness contrasts sharply with a certain exploitative person she knows very well.
Reflected in a series of memories, Nahyun admits she was caught off guard by the training's intensity.
Clenching her hand, the girl resolves to succeed as long as she manages the upcoming gate raid.
Nahyun stands up with renewed energy and determination, surprising her friends with her sudden, enthusiastic change.
Radiating happiness, the brown-haired girl cheers herself on and affirms her readiness for the next challenge.
Under the night sky, a character thinks that their preparations should finally be enough for tonight.
The quiet balcony stands empty under the stars as the time for the secret raid approaches.
Wearing a hat and mask, Nahyun peeks from the bushes and notes the Academy's lax night curfew.
Sneaking through the grounds, Nahyun understands why the original story's protagonists were always out at night.
Lowering her mask, the green-eyed girl confirms the meeting time and location near the central fountain.
A notification confirms that Choi Soo-jung will officially be joining the team for the gate raid tonight.
Walking at night, Nahyun questions Soo-jung's inclusion while Yuhan mentions their recently finalized recruitment contract.
Yuhan insists she is not a burden while she admits she will be one anyway.
The man claims she is the key while she worries about failing the mission.
The commander tells her not to worry as they prepare for the upcoming raid. He tells her to trust him while she blushes and nods during a headback.
Yuhan thinks she likes being potted while she internally expresses her intense hatred for it.
Nahyun notes she cannot see previous conversations because of the protagonist arc's perspective limitations.
Nahyun notes that Yuhan called the cat beastkin senior while she watches from a distance. A flashback shows Yuhan inviting the cat beastkin senior to a real gate raid experience.
Nahyun suspects that Yuhan used a specific secret to lure the cat beastkin into joining.
Nahyun decides to keep her senior status hidden while plotting against the suspicious conman. Seeing comments about the head pat, Nahyun resolves to eventually break the conman's rest.
Checking for more comments, Nahyun reads one suggesting the commander felt uncomfortable during the training.
A flashback shows Nahyun watching nervously as the copy skin hugs the black-haired man.
Reading a comment about following him like a chick, Nahyun angrily denies the claim internally.
Nahyun smiles at comments about harem tropes while resolving to stay in a supporting role.
The brown-haired girl makes a confused sound while reading more strange comments from the readers.
Nahyun reads a comment suggesting a romantic pairing between her and the blonde-haired Yuri.
The girl stares in shock at the screen, questioning the deal of the reader's strange theories.
Nahyun considers that more main characters drawing attention will decrease her supply of meta points. Walking at night, Nahyun spots Yuhan and Soo-jung standing before a glowing purple gate portal.
Waving energetically, the red-haired cot beastkin greets Nahyun as she arrives at the meeting spot.
Nahyun waves back while resolving to appeal to readers by becoming Yuhan's secret hidden gem.
A text prompt highlights Nahyun's plan to establish herself as the conman's most valuable asset. Soo-jung is amazed by the portal while Yuhan confirms they are about to start the raid.
The cat beastkin asks for his information source and he calls it a trade secret.
Yuhan forms a party and explains they will hunt safely from the dungeon's entrance.
Yuhan notes that monsters wander inside stationary gates and plans to exploit that fact.
Yuhan explains they can attack from outside because monsters cannot see or exit gates.
Yuhan tells the cat beastkin they will herd monsters while holding the girl's hand.
Yuhan assigns the brown-haired girl to snipe monsters from outside the gate in safety. A narrative display introduces the group's specific hit-and-run tactic for the upcoming gate challenge. Yuhan provides mana potions and tells the girl to use her magic power freely.
The black-haired man confidently states that he has every detail of the operation already figured out.
Standing before the swirling purple portal, the commander prepares to lead his team into the dungeon.
The black-haired man asks if they are ready to go while reaching for a special item.
Yuan holds up a glowing green crystal, noting that it was quite difficult for him to obtain.
The cat beastkin uses wind magic to lift the commander into the air now. The black-haired man grunts in discomfort as the wind magic suddenly launches him into the air.
The commander's legs flail as he is propelled upward by the force of the cat beastkin spell.
Yuhan notes the extreme speed nearly snapped his neck while seeing the incoming experience points.
Narration explains that the monsters cannot help but charge toward the enticing energy of the crystal. Digital text identifies the glowing green item as a valuable Grade 1 sandworm monster core.
A group of round, blue shark-like monsters growl aggressively as they spot the intruders above them.
The commander tells the damage dealer she faces a tough time for a sweet reward.
A mana bullet streaks through the purple portal as the sniping phase of the operation begins.
2 bullets find their marks, striking the charging blue monsters directly in their vulnerable forehead cores. The sniped monsters are pushed back by the force of the accurate shots from outside the gate.
The brown-haired girl curses the conman while firing her rifle at the monsters.
The brown-haired girl's feet shift for stability as she continues her relentless barrage of rifle fire. The girl complains about the man's wild plan while a monster jumps through the portal.
2 mana bullets strike the blue monster's forehead cores as a purple-haired girl watches intently. Helpless civilians scream in terror behind a wire fence, desperately begging for someone to save them.
Soldiers fire weapons into the crowd, justifying the massacre by claiming doppelgangers are hiding among them.
A woman's eyes go white as she lets out a silent, agonizing scream behind the fence. A woman in a white coat is shot in the head as red-eyed shadows watch closely.
Shards of a monster's forehead core scatter through the air following a high-precision mana bullet strike.
Kneeling beside the purple portal, Nayun continues to fire her sniper rifle into the monster-infested desert.
The green-eyed girl clenches her teeth, disturbed by the unsettling memories that suddenly surface during battle.
A pink circuit pattern stretches across the sky, signaling the start of a major dungeon event.
The desolate desert hills within the gate stand silent under the shimmering patterned sky after combat. Standing among monster corpses, Yuhan asks for a gentler lift while Sujong reacts with confused laughter.
Kang Na-yen cheers enthusiastically as she realizes her stats and skills have increased significantly after training.
A digital status screen displays Nahyun's sniper level 15 stats, showcasing her improved agility and mana.
The system interface details Nayun's current skills, including level 5 mana bullet and level 2 bullseye.
The black-haired commander looks completely stunned as he processes his teammate's sudden and massive power spike.
Nayun mocks the commander, calling him a scammer while asking if he is finally satisfied now.
Chibi Nayun frantically wonders if pouring her meta points into the man caused this unexpected outcome.
An eagle flies over as the team discusses Nahin's sudden growth before she insists she's fine. The black-haired man suggests moving to explore the inner dungeon, and the brown-haired girl readily agrees.
Title art covers the ground of the desert dungeon, which is now littered with monster remains.
Floating nearby, the cat beastkin asks Nayun about her inventory skill, prompting the girl's surprised confirmation. Sujong explains that all awakened beings gain inventory at level 2, teasing Nayun for using it earlier. Yuhan explains the basics of the level 1 inventory skill, which allows for storing limited item types. Yuhan brags about his level 10 inventory capacity, while Nayun internally mocks his legendary trash skill build.
The commander plans to sell monster carcasses later, and the sniper offers to gather everything for him.
The group's footsteps crunch on the dirt path as they approach the massive stone gates ahead.
Arriving at a grand temple, the commander asks the red-haired senior to lead the scouting mission inside.
Yuhan and Nayun stop at the doorway, startled by a sudden, intense shift in the atmosphere.
Dust falls from the ceiling as the entire temple begins to shake violently during their initial exploration. Nayun stumbles from the tremors until green wind magic begins to stabilize her feet on the floor. The team floats safely over a glowing blue magic circle while Nayun thanks Sujong for the help. Nayun realizes this event deviates from the original story as game-style pixel graphics appear in her mind. Yuhan smirks darkly as Nayun concludes that the scammer has triggered a secret event from the game.
A system prompt announces a trial for the kins of the beasts, leaving Nayun in absolute shock.
Nayun recognizes the trigger for Sujong's event and curses the commander's nerve for starting such danger.
The brown-haired girl nervously agrees that something feels off as she tries to hide her internal panic.
Standing before a glowing purple halo, the black-haired man claims everything is unfolding exactly as he expected.
A close-up shows the cat beastkin's ears twitching in response to the commander's ominous and confident statement.
Sujong catches Yuhan off guard, using her wind magic to mockingly question his supposedly fast reaction time.
The red-haired senior confronts the commander, assuming he already understands the gravity of her personal situation.
Yuhan reveals he knows her bloodline and past, explaining that her history is why they came here.
Sujong threatens to kill him while Nayun desperately begs the two of them to stop the fighting.
Nayun suggests prioritizing their escape, but the commander bluntly states that they are unable to leave now.
Smiling with a dark glint in his eyes, Yuhan explains the inescapable nature of this specific event.
Nayun panics over the lack of response while the cat beastkin prepares to strike the commander down.
Yuhan points out that his death would lead to the deaths of Nayun and the senior too. The girls react in confusion as the commander reveals they are inside the legendary Temple of Beasts.
Yuhan explains the temple's history as a beastkin trial ground and claims to have a winning strategy.
The black-haired man asks the cop beastkin senior if she has a reason to survive this trial.
Na-yoon is outraged that her life is being used as a bargaining chip in the commander's negotiation.
The black-haired man coughs violently as green wind magic swirls around his neck.
Na-yoon supports the coughing commander as the cat beastkin asks for the next plan. Yuhan points toward a dark archway, asking the girls if they see the maze's entrance. A narrative bubble explains that a challenging maze begins once they pass through that door.
The team stands within a stone hallway as they prepare to navigate the dungeon's labyrinth.
Na-yoon looks up and ponders their situation while making a curious sound in the ruins.
Yuhan explains his vision-sharing skill allows him to see exactly what Na-yoon sees during exploration. Approaching a runic archway, the commander identifies characters containing hints for avoiding dangerous traps.
Deciphering ancient texts, Yuhan confidently leads the group while the girls react with mixed amazement.
The sniper observes her companions while the red-haired senior remains skeptical of the man's intentions. Na-yoon asks the beastkin senior what she should call her, seeking a more casual relationship.
Soo-jung happily accepts being called senior and makes a playful cat gesture to celebrate.
The red-haired senior claims that the commander's recent actions were bad by her personal standards.
Na-yoon whispers to the senior, promising she will eventually help her scold Yuri as well.
The cat beastkin's eyes widen with surprise after hearing the sniper's unexpected offer of cooperation.
Standing among bright flowers, Na-yoon encourages the senior not to worry too much about everything.
A close-up shows the red-haired beastkin laughing softly as she feels relieved by Na-yoon's support.
Soo-jung erupts into loud laughter while the brown-haired girl watches her with a confused expression.
The cat beastkin playfully pinches the sniper's cheeks while Na-yoon cries out in mild pain.
Soo-jung asks to join the scolding session, and Na-yoon agrees if the commander stays alive.
Reaching a grand hall, the senior cheers their arrival while the sniper questions the excerpt.
Yuhan identifies the reward room where a bone-shaped key item floats upon a tall pedestal.
The group stands before the central pedestal in a large, ruined temple chamber filled with carvings. The commander tells the cat beastkin senior she must be the one to catch it. The cat beastkin's feet step forward onto the stone floor as she approaches the reward.
Soo-jung holds a skeletal skull key while Yuhan identifies it as a key story item.
Yuhan smiles dramatically, prompting Na-yoon to think he acts like an embarrassing 8th grader again.
The senior smacks the commander with wind magic and asks if he is finally finished.
Na-yoon hands the dropped key to a battered Yuhan, who thanks her with a smile.
A purple portal appears behind the reward room, which the group recognizes as the excerpt.
Yuhan bids the girls farewell until a sudden gust of wind magic grabs his collar.
Soo-jung reminds the commander of his earlier provocation and claims she doesn't care if he dies.
Holding the commander by his tie, the senior asks what kind of deal he wants now.
The cat beastkin is momentarily stunned into silence by whatever secret deal the commander just proposed.
Yuhan asks if she will accept the deal, and the senior reluctantly agrees to his terms.
Na-yoon notes that the scammer used a sound-blocking item so she could not eavesdrop on them.
Yuhan waves goodbye to the group, promising to report the dungeon while the senior insults him. A thought bubble conveys the girl's exhaustion and her simple desire to collapse on her bed.
Peaceful blue skies and white flowers signal the group's safe return to their normal daily lives.
Morning light bathes the academy, which is described as the hope for government-supported awakened ones.
Classmates swarm Na-yoon, calling her one of the twin stars and praising her recent gate clearing. Yuhan sits on a throne being pampered by students while Na-yoon notes he's having a blast.
The classroom doors burst open as Na-yoon wonders if this chaotic event has happened before too. A blonde girl glares with red eyes, calling Yuhan a trash bastard and demanding he appear. Yuhan greets Yuri as his little sister, while Na-yoon watches the sibling confrontation begin with surprise.
Yuri delivers a powerful punch to Yuhan's face as Na-yoon cheers for her friend's bold retaliation.
Yuri continues beating the commander, who tries to argue that he did not use any force.
Na-yoon tells Yuri not to be like that while internally embracing her helpless sunny heroine persona.
Yuri clutches Na-yoon's hands with concern, asking her friend if she was hurt during the raid. Yuri asks if the shameless man ever dared to lay a hand on the brown-haired girl.
The black-haired man lies battered on the floor, regretting that he didn't let Na-yoon sleep in his dorm.
Na-yoon reassures her friend that Yuhan was kind while insisting that breaking dormitory rules is wrong.
Yuri apologizes for her oversight while Na-yoon secretly reflects on the prior contract she made with the commander.
Yuri reacts with visible fluster, blushing as she tries to deny the overwhelming cuteness of Na-yoon's puppy-like thoughts.
A text prompt declares that liars are the worst and blames all the trouble on Na-yoon.
Chibi Na-yoon appears in a bubble, cheerfully suggesting that they should just blame everything on the scammer.
Na-yoon and Yuri share a deep sisterly hug in the middle of the classroom's chaotic aftermath. As Na-yoon expresses relief over her safety, Yuri continues to relentlessly beat the commander in the background.
Na-yoon observes the scene, noting that Yuri's lack of skills in her strikes suggests a slight improvement in the siblings' relationship.
Yuri erupts in a purple aura of rage, accusing Yuhan of still plotting to exploit people for his personal gain.
Na-hyun watches the background chaos of flying furniture while questioning if the situation has truly improved or not.
A muscular instructor with sunglasses announces that midterms will be practical exams and demands his students pay attention.
The teacher hits a sleeping student with chalk, lecturing that understanding theory is necessary to avoid such attacks. The classroom erupts in laughter at the student's misfortune, while Na-hyun smiles and the commander remains stoic.
Na-hyun reflects on the surprisingly peaceful day, noting it feels as if last night's danger was a dream.
During practical class, the instructor summons the twin stars to the front to provide a combat demonstration for everyone.
Sujong joins the lunch table with a smile, prompting Yuri to bark jealously over her proximity to Na-hyun. As the sun sets, Na-hyun ponders the approaching hardships that are destined to occur in the story's timeline.
A visual shift displays a phone screen and a dark tower, symbolizing the looming, world-ending flood of calamity.
Narration explains Yuhan's identity as a scammer who possessed a game villain and uses vast meta-knowledge to survive. The focus shifts to the overarching goal of preventing the catastrophic event known as the Flood of Calamity. Na-hyun decides to use the meta system to strengthen herself while staying by the scammer's side to prepare. Na-hyun resolves to fully exploit her knowledge of the story to remain close to Yuan for the long term. Na-hyun identifies the upcoming midterm practical exam ambush as the first major hurdle she must prepare to face.
Yuhan approaches Na-hyun in the library, announcing that he has finally finished the financial settlement from their raid.
Na-hyun is stunned into silence when Yuhan reveals that the monster loot and treasures yielded a massive profit.
A decorative screen announces with great fanfare that the time for the team's reward has finally come.
Na-hyun reminds Yuhan of their initial contract, insisting that all the profit belongs entirely to him as agreed.
Yuhan dismisses her concerns, explaining that he only processed the byproducts and a proper split is now necessary.
Na-hyun recalls that the original story scammer was parasitic but always shared loot fairly with his own teammates.
As Yuhan asks for her bank account number, Na-hyun wonders if this generosity indicates a change in his character.
Yuhan initially suggests splitting 1 billion each as he presents a shower of gold coins to a shocked teammate.
The commander then clarifies the total is actually 10 billion each, causing Na-hyun's eyes to bulge in disbelief.
Na-hyun envisions her orphanage, realizing this massive wealth could finally give her younger siblings everything they ever wanted.
Her vision continues with dreams of buying art supplies and a piano to support her siblings' future education.
Na-hyun hopes the money can heal her sick brother and save her teacher from the shame of begging. Yuhan asks Na-hyun what she would actually do if she suddenly came into such a vast amount of money.
Na-hyun remains paralyzed with a dazed expression, completely overwhelmed by the gravity of becoming an overnight billionaire.
Assuming she would want better gear, Yuhan suggests buying a weapon, but the girl's thoughts are elsewhere.
Na-hyun surprises the commander by joyfully declaring that her first priority would be to donate the entire fortune.
Yuhan stares at his phone in disbelief, unable to process why she would choose to give away the money.
Yuhan urges Na-hyun to invest in her own strength while she calculates how to maintain her sunny heroine persona. Realizing she must be clear, Na-hyun decides to settle the issue immediately to prevent further suspicion from the commander. Na-hyun explains that she owes a great debt to a specific place and vowed to donate when she succeeded.
Na-hyun maintains her act, asking the commander if her selfless behavior fits the sunny character he has always seen.
While Na-hyun secretly worries about her suspiciousness, Yuhan tells her to just accept her role in the game setting.
Standing her ground, Na-hyun firmly insists that she does not want to give up on her goal to donate.
Yuhan sighs and gives in, scratching his head while telling her to spend her money however she wishes.
Na-hyun celebrates her successful bluff with an enthusiastic series of silent cheers as the deal is finally finalized. Yuhan watches her with a confused expression, completely baffled by her intense excitement over giving away 10 billion. Na-hyun looks up with teary eyes, a soft, relieved smile touching her lips.
Yuhan asks if she is okay or if something is wrong while acting flustered.
Na-hyun continues to cry happily, overwhelmed by her relief and the commander's generosity. The black-haired man blushes deeply, visibly uncomfortable with her intense display of emotion.
Yuri charges down the hall, screaming at Yuhan for making her friend cry.
Yuri attacks while Yuhan denies everything and Na-hyun insists she is perfectly fine.
A mysterious red-robed woman smokes a traditional pipe amidst ancient, ornate dragon carvings.
The woman asks if Na-hyun is the brat who claimed to solve her problem.
Vibrant red camellia flowers bloom against a dark, atmospheric backdrop during the flashback.
Na-hyun steps forward to answer the woman, beginning her proposal for a secret deal.
The girl declares her ability to distinguish between the entities known as the Gemini. Seated on her throne, the mysterious woman asks what the terms of the deal are. Na-hyun requests citizenship and safe passage for the people at her beloved orphanage.
The woman asks for one more wish since there is still a surplus value.
Na-hyun asks that her orphanage never be entangled with any dangerous criminal organizations. The woman agrees but warns that Na-hyun herself will be the sole exception.
A powerful purple aura surrounds Na-hyun as she absorbs the weight of the contract.
Waking up in her pajamas, Na-hyun reflects on the recurring, unsettling dream of her past.
Frustrated by the interruption, the girl forcefully punches her alarm clock to silence it.
Na-hyun recalls her deal with the black scales was an unavoidable necessity from the novel. Sitting in bed, Na-hyun reassures herself that everything is progressing exactly as she planned.
Na-hyun notes that Yuhan's reaction from the previous day still leaves her feeling slightly uneasy.
Opening her meta system, Na-hyun explores the store for potential upgrades to her stats.
She discovers a story twist feature but wonders why the point cost is unknown.
A system prompt explains that costs vary based on the plausibility of the desired changes. Na-hyun is shocked to realize she has the power to rewrite the entire story's plot. Overjoyed by the discovery, she spins around her room, marveling at her new power. For a test, she tries changing her background to an elite family of powerful Awakeners.
The system rejects her attempt due to insufficient points, leaving her frustrated and disappointed. She considers using points to cure Sibling's illness, but finds the cost too high.
Seeing the massive cost to stop the midterm raid, Na-hyun realizes she is underpowered.
The girl notices her current meta point balance has reached a meager 120.
Na-hyun stares in disbelief as a notification confirms her total points have actually decreased.
She panics upon seeing the counter ticking down, wondering if meta points decay naturally.
Collapsing onto her bed, Na-hyun despairs over losing the points she needs for the future.
The girl wonders if the system is malfunctioning or if something went wrong with readers.
Checking comments, she finds readers frustrated by her sudden donation and emotional overkill. One reader criticizes the lack of foreshadowing for her donation, calling her behavior frustrating. Na-hyun realizes negative reviews are flooding in because her choices feel inconsistent to readers.
Back in class, the muscular instructor lectures on the history of the world's towers.
Exhausted by her worries, Na-hyun struggles to focus while everyone else is half asleep. Yuhan listens to the lecture with intense focus, looking like a gamer exploring fresh lore. The teacher explains the tower's visibility in the old capital while drawing on the chalkboard.
Na-hyun smiles awkwardly as the class erupts into laughter at the instructor's blunt remarks. Narration describes how mysterious towers suddenly appeared in the capital cities of every nation.
Despite their mystery, the towers in every country were eventually discovered to be identical.
The towers yielded massive treasures, leading to the formation of the International Savior Raid Team.
The legendary hero Park Seon leads her diverse elite squad toward the tower's entrance.
The raid team makes rapid progress, easily defeating the monsters lurking on the tower's floors. Upon reaching the 333rd floor, humanity finally encountered other sentient races.
Humans chose to ally with other races to climb further into the mysterious high-stakes tower.
Different races mingled with humanity until they reached the tower's ominous 666th floor.
The tower is fueled by human desire and will never end as long as people want.
Protests erupt as other races demand humans abandon greed to stop the constant monster invasions. The narrator explains that conflict between the two sides escalated as the world fell into chaos.
Burning ruins fill the landscape after the intense and devastating conflict between humans and other races.
Humans eventually resolved to seal the tower, bringing peace for only a few short decades.
External gates reappear as Na-hyun ponders how the game setting matches the story's current timeline.
The instructor explains that the tower's name became unified following the events on floor 666. Identified as the Tower of Greed, the instructor notes how it burdens the current generation.
The instructor uses a chalkboard to explain how residential zones are divided into 3 areas.
A visual display focuses on the safe zone, areas where gates are least likely to spawn.
Na-hyun worries that no place will be secure once the flood of calamity truly arrives.
The girl identifies a key character she needs to meet before striking another dangerous deal. Yuhan stares at his notebook while contemplating the entity known in the story as the Oracle.
A decorative card reveals that the mysterious Oracle figure appears midway through the original novel's plot.
Yuhan is depicted floating within massive ethereal hands, suggesting he is being pulled through worlds.
Watching the man, Na-hyun wonders if the Oracle is responsible for her presence in this world.
Na-hyun reflects on how the Oracle mentored the scammer but frustrated readers with his suspicious nature.
Reading negative comments, Na-hyun fears her recent choices have caused her precious meta points to drop.
Realizing she was reckless, Na-hyun decides to stop mentioning her orphanage family to avoid negative impressions.
While writing, Na-hyun acknowledges her decision is logical but still struggles with her internal emotional conflict. The girl clenches her pen as a sudden surge of physical pain manifests through her house.
Na-hyun dismisses her pain and resolves to stop dwelling on her feelings to focus on training.
Activating her system, the girl determines to keep up her reputation and regain her lost points.
Na-hyun stares at the commander, vowing to sacrifice her own feelings for her beloved orphanage family.
The brown-haired girl adopts a radiant, flower-filled smile to perfectly perform her role as a heroine.
Sitting beside Yuhan, Na-hyun acts exactly as readers expect while the commander looks on with confusion.
Yuri unleashes her fire powers against simulation monsters while the team's progress is tracked on screen.
The blonde girl continues her fierce assault as a giant winged monster lets out a pained scream.
Yuri delivers a decisive strike to the monster's head, causing the simulation enemy to shatter and dissipate.
A glowing system prompt officially confirms that the final phase of the training simulation is complete.
Na-hyun remains in a tactical kneeling position with her pistol as Siwoo stands guard behind her.
Yuri hugs her friend, praising Na-hyun's flawless timing while Na-hyun modestly suggests she was slightly late.
Na-hyun smiles while being embraced, privately thinking that Yuri always gives her a bit too much praise.
The group notes the senior didn't show up, assuming she is simply following her own path.
Siwoo suggests the senior is sulking over the scammer, leaving Yuhan looking completely baffled by the statement.
Siwoo proposes a break to recover magic reserves, an idea that Yuri agrees is a good plan.
When Yuri offers to join her, Na-hyun quickly insists that her friend should stay and rest.
Once alone, Na-hyun collapses in exhaustion, struggling to catch her breath after the intense training session.
Na-hyun wipes sweat from her brow, admitting that maintaining her cheerful heroine act is increasingly difficult.
At the vending machine, Na-hyun selects a red cola for Yuhan and a drink for Yuri.
A sudden voice calls out the girl's full name, catching her completely off guard in the hallway. Startled by the call, Na-hyun looks down as the canned drinks tumble out of the machine.
The tall swordsman stands silently behind Na-hyun, surprising her with his sudden and imposing presence.
Looking down with a serious expression, Siwoo asks Na-hyun if they can have a private conversation.
On a bench, Na-hyun asks what he needs while Siwoo hesitates, nervously clutching a bottle of water.
The brown-haired girl tilts her head curiously, waiting for the quiet man to deliver his message.
Siwoo apologizes for choosing his words, prompting Na-hyun to cheerily reassure him that he is being thoughtful.
Na-hyun flashes her brightest, most innocent smile to maintain her perfect heroine facade during their meeting.
Siwoo stares ahead silently while Na-hyun wonders about his uncharacteristically serious and somber expression.
Chibi Na-hyun enthusiastically declares that only good things have been happening to her lately.
Na-hyun mentions her recent financial success as Siwoo's face is shown partially in shadow.
Siwoo attempts to clarify his words, stating that is not what he meant.
Well, staying hydrated is apparently more important than listening to a boy's awkward emotional explanation.
Siwoo offers to tell a story about an acquaintance since Na-hyun refuses to talk.
Siwoo mentions the tale of a fallen hero, causing Na-hyun to react with sudden shock.
Narration describes hero Park Seon, the captain of the Saviors, as an exceptionally gifted leader. People entrusted her with vital missions, and she completed every single one of them brilliantly.
During a public speech, Seon thanks the crowd for their support and promises continued excellence.
A shocking truth reveals that the tower is fueled by human desire and never ends. The revelation caused public outrage against heroes, leaving Seon consumed by intense, lifelong guilt.
Na-hyun realizes this tragic backstory about Siwoo's grandmother was never mentioned in the original novel.
Siwoo explains that despite her inner suffering, his grandmother always managed to smile for him.
A warm flashback shows the grandmother gently patting young Siwoo's head during a moment of peace.
The narration explains the grandson always knew his grandmother was masking a very deep sorrow.
Returning to the present, Siwoo sits in heavy silence on the bench beside Na-hyun.
Siwoo notes that he can recognize the faces of people forced to smile through pain.
The boy looks down somberly, his expression reflecting the weight of his family's tragic history.
The focus shifts to the intricate leather straps and details of the boy's academy uniform.
Siwoo casts a sharp, observant glance toward the girl sitting right next to him. Na-hyun looks surprised as she senses the boy's intense gaze fixed directly upon her.
Chibi Na-hyun watches in confusion as Siwoo suddenly turns away with a deeply flushed face.
Na-hyun adjusts her hair and quietly acknowledges the boy's words with a small, knowing smile.
A system notification confirms her meta points have recovered after a small previous point deduction.
Na-hyun reflects on how one must remain cautious and keep trying despite uncontrollable circumstances.
Siwoo turns back to look at Na-hyun, seemingly taken aback by her sudden change in attitude.
Na-hyun offers a bright, genuine smile that reaches her eyes as she looks at him. Siwoo stares back at Na-hyun, his expression softening as he takes in her sincere expression.
Na-hyun playfully slaps Siwoo's back, praising his sensitivity while the boy remains flustered and embarrassed.
Siwoo tells Na-hyun she should feel free to ask her friends for help whenever needed.
Siwoo walks away after his final piece of advice, leaving Na-hyun to agree with him.
The scene shifts to the academy grounds where Yuhan lies face down and defeated.
The red-haired senior laughs while sitting victoriously atop the incapacitated club president.
Na-hyun and Siwoo arrive at the training area, looking bewildered by the strange scene.
From a distance, the group gathers around the fallen president in the middle of the courtyard.
Yuri holds Na-hyun as the red-haired senior explains they simply taught Yuhan a little lesson.
The red-haired senior asks Yuri for permission to join in on Yuhan's next physical punishment.
Na-hyun panics over Yuhan's bloody nose while an unseen voice commands them all to stop.
Through a bedroom window at night, Na-hyun is seen sitting alone on her bed.
Na-hyun reads digital comments criticizing her decision to donate money instead of buying better gear.
Na-hyun notes she is handling the negative feedback much more calmly than she did before.
Remembering Siwoo's encouraging words about relying on friends, Na-hyun lets out a soft, happy laugh.
Na-yoon flops onto her bed and stretches out, finally feeling relaxed after a long day.
The next morning, students gossip about what the manipulative club president is planning this time.
Yuhan uses a megaphone to loudly announce recruitment for the Gate Treasure Exploration Run.
Several high-value magical artifacts and scrolls are displayed as rewards for anyone who joins.
Students express utter disbelief and skepticism at the idea of receiving such expensive items for free.
Yuen continues his energetic pitch, promising free ice attribute gear to anyone who signs up.
Hana stands elegantly amidst white roses as the final recruitment incentive for the new club.
An urgent invitation appears over a peaceful sky, urging everyone to join immediately before time expires.
Yuhan enthusiastically recruits members with a megaphone while Na-yoon claps cheerfully by his side. Yuhan announces the new club's name as Na-heen notes the timeline matches the original novel.
The club's official purpose is revealed to be uncovering valuable treasures within dangerous gates.
A title card identifies the scammer scheme to gather heroines for a hidden piece dungeon raid.
Yuhan welcomes Na-yoon into the club while she privately notes his difficult and complicated personality.
Yuri rushes onto the scene, shouting Yuhan's name with an intensely angry and accusatory tone. Yuri delivers a powerful kick to Yuhan, demanding to know what he is doing to Na-yoon.
Na-yoon quickly intervenes, showing the recruitment flyer and explaining her personal decision to join.
Yuri holds Yuhan in a firm headlock while Na-yoon compares her to her ladylike novel counterpart.
Yuri kicks the groveling Yuhan aside, deciding she must join just to monitor his suspicious behavior.
Yuhan teases Yuri about her personal feelings, prompting her to attack him with cat-like intensity.
The story's title is presented in elegant gold script against a white, geometric circular background.
A serene transition panel shows sunlight filtering through leaves, signaling a shift in the academy scene.
Students gather outside a room, gossiping about the overwhelming number of applicants for Yuhan's interviews.
Seated like a king, Yuhan harshly rejects an applicant with a definitive thumbs-down gesture.
Yuhan dismisses a beastkin applicant for having a terrible vibe, leading to a heated argument.
Yuhan rejects a sweating student for past insults, despite the boy's desperate and panicky denials.
Yuhan rejects a blushing girl after pointing out her obvious personal feelings for the heroine Yuri.
Yuhan dismisses a shocked applicant, claiming to see pure greed reflected within the boy's wide eyes.
Yuhan gleefully rejects yet another applicant while Na-yoon watches him with an unimpressed, flat expression.
Na-yoon observes that Yuhan only accepts members who perfectly suit his specific tastes and goals.
The recruitment room doors fly open with a sudden, powerful gust of wind, signaling a dramatic arrival.
Soo-jung, the red-haired beastkin senior, strikes a cheerful pose amid a flurry of flower petals.
Yuhan and Na-yoon are shocked to see Soo-jung, wondering why she isn't clubless as expected.
Chibi versions of Na-yoon and Yuhan express total confusion over the senior's unexpected presence.
Soo-jung playfully winks at the pair, confidently asking for confirmation of her immediate club membership.
Soo-jung stamps her own application and celebrates while Yuhan reels from a painful physical blow. Soo-jung takes charge of recruiting as Na-yeon brings Yuhan the stamp to continue the interviews.
A close-up focuses on a pair of black-laced boots stepping into the recruitment room.
A pale hand holds a club application, preparing to present it to the club's interviewers.
A tall girl with long silver hair stands silhouetted before the seated Yuhan and Na-yoon.
Na-yeon gasps in shock, instantly recognizing the mysterious person who has just walked into the room.
Descriptive panels highlight the new arrival's pale complexion and her flowing, shining silver hair.
A striking close-up reveals the girl's cold blue eyes, which project a calm, steady impression.
Na-heen confirms the girl's appearance perfectly matches the detailed descriptions found in the original novel.
Yuhan jumps up in excitement, shouting his immediate approval of the new applicant, Lee-hana.
Yuhan enthusiastically declares Lee-hana a perfect fit while Na-yoon watches him with a silent sweat drop.
Soo-jung offers to stamp Hana's approval while Yuri prepares to hand her the club guidebook.
Lee-hana agrees to hang out with Soo-jung later, confirming their close friendship to Na-yoon.
Na-yoon asks Yuhan why he accepted Hana instantly, curious about his reasoning despite knowing the plot.
Yuhan laughs hysterically, explaining that Hana is an overpowered character frequently called broken by players.
Yuhan excitedly lists Hana's utility for raids as Na-yoon notes his talk is way too complicated.
Yuhan awkwardly backtracks, claiming he's simply meant Hana seemed dedicated and strong for the club.
A small chibi version of Na-hyun's head curiously wonders if Hana is actually a good person. Soo-jung hugs Hana while Yuhan confirms she is a good person to the questioning Na-hyun. Na-yoon looks on thoughtfully, concluding that Hana cannot be simply summed up as just being kind. A blood-stained sword appears as Na-hyun reflects on how Hana's kindness became her greatest weakness. Yuhan looks toward the door with confusion as the next applicant prepares to enter the room.
Both Na-hyun and Yuhan are struck with visible shock as they witness the next person entering.
The tall swordsman walks through the hallway with a calm and imposing presence. Introducing himself with a steady gaze, Park Si-woo formally joins the group's conversation.
Yuhan and Na-yoon are shocked that the top ranker applied, leading Yuhan to accept him immediately.
Na-yoon privately reflects on Yuhan's opportunistic nature, noting he never misses a recruitment chance.
A formal document officially establishes the Gate Treasure Exploration Club with its 6 founding members.
Chaos erupts as Yuri kicks Yuhan through the air while the other club members watch.
Na-hyun politely greets Hana while secretly planning to rely on the protagonist's strength during missions.
Na-hyun quietly steps into a supporting position, hoping to remain completely unnoticed by the group.
Peering through her scope, Na-hyun determines to keep her distance and avoid any direct attention.
Facing a massive ice beast, Na-hyun questions why she ended up as the main damage dealer.
Na-hyun takes aim from a snowy ridge, blaming Yuhan's deceptive schemes for her current situation. Standing before a flag, Yuhan announces that the club's first official mission is gate exploration.
The group questions their clearance level, but Yuhan reveals he has prepared the necessary paperwork.
Yuhan presents Na-hyun with an updated contract, which she accepts while wondering about the new clauses.
The contract terms specify that all information is confidential and items belong to the president.
Yuri reacts with intense fury after reading the unfair clauses within Yuhan's new club contract. Yuri shouts her distrust while Na-hyun hugs her, desperately trying to defend Yuhan's suspicious actions.
Na-hyun insists Yuhan intends to share loot fairly, though Yuri remains visibly skeptical of the scammer. Hana and Soo-jung present their signed documents, thanking the club president for the raid opportunity.
Yuri questions the specific type of gate they are targeting, while Yuhan describes it as special.
Yuhan describes the ice cave as a resource-rich location that is unfortunately low on experience points.
Na-hyun realizes the dungeon choice was a calculated move to showcase Hana's overwhelming combat prowess.
Siwoo asks for the official raid plan and inquires if any special preparations are required.
Yuhan smiles confidently while presenting a tactical digital map detailing their formation against a monster.
The ornate title card appears in elegant gold script against a white, geometric, circular background.
The team discovers a glowing purple portal hidden within the side of a steep, rocky mountain.
Exhausted from the climb, Yuhan prepares to enter the portal as Na-hyun checks on his condition.
A close-up shows a pair of black lace boots stepping firmly onto the frozen cave floor.
Entering the massive ice cave, the group notes the freezing temperature and the towering crystalline interior.
A giant, jagged ice monster emerges, prompting Yuhan to order the team to prepare for battle. Soo-jung leaps toward the dark, massive stone-like creature that is emanating a chilling blue energy.
The club members take their tactical positions as Yuhan is identified as the group's commander.
Yuhan checks if everyone remembers their specific roles while holding the club's flag with confidence.
Yuri charges forward as the team's primary tank, unleashing her fire powers with an angry shout.
Siwoo strikes the monster's leg with his blade, acting as a secondary tank for the group.
Yuhan commands Soo-jung to create a wind shield while the red-haired beastkin happily follows his orders.
Soo-jung activates her wind magic as Yuhan tells Na-hyun to provide covering fire for the frontliners.
The team delivers a coordinated assault, shattering the monster's armor to reveal a glowing purple core.
Watching the core emerge, Yuhan smiles with satisfaction as the battle proceeds exactly as he planned. Yuhan calls for Hana to deliver the finishing blow as the silver-haired girl readies her weapon.
Lee Hana is revealed as the team's main dealer, standing amidst a storm of ice shards. Hana uses her created ice as stepping stones to dart forward with incredible speed and power.
Hana's spear technique shatters the core as Na-hyun reflects on how well Yuhan's scam worked.
Yuhan uses his high-level inventory to collect the valuable monster materials while Na-hyun watches him.
Na-hyun praises Yuhan's intelligence while he dismisses his knowledge as basic for a club president.
The group approaches a massive wall of ice as Yuhan prepares to deliver a final instruction.
Yuhan warns the team that the ice golem's blizzard skill will cause the temperature to plummet. The massive ice golem suddenly awakens, its glowing blue eyes focusing on the startled club president.
The colossal beast lets out a deafening roar that sends a freezing shockwave through the cavern.
Signaling the start of the final confrontation, Yuhan commands the club to begin their assault.
Yuhan reacts in sudden shock as the blizzard skill activates, creating a blinding and chaotic storm.
Soo-jung descends using her wind magic to stabilize the group amidst the intense and freezing environment.
Yuhan notes the unusual wind patterns while Na-hyun promises to catch him during the airborne chaos.
The group collapses into the deep snow, overwhelmed by the sheer power of the blizzard's impact.
Yuri struggles against the freezing winds, shouting that the current blizzard is far too strong.
Yuhan reflects on the unexpected synergy between the blizzard skill and the cavern's natural air currents.
Yuhan worries about the team's lack of coordination as a massive horned ice beast roars. Amidst the chaotic storm, a narrator notes that only one person can see the battlefield clearly. Yuhan orders Soo-jung to reposition Na-hyun, whose clairvoyant passive skill allows her to target the beast.
Na-hyun reacts with total confusion as she is suddenly swept up by Soo-jung's powerful wind magic.
Yuhan commands the team to switch to supporting roles, officially designating Na-hyun as their main dealer.
Na-hyun takes steady aim with her rifle, focused on targeting the massive ice golem's glowing core. Na-hyun hesitates to fire her weapon, waiting for a more certain opening amidst the shifting battle. Spotting the perfect moment, Na-hyun focuses her sight and prepares to deliver a decisive final shot.
The defeated ice golem lies broken on the ground, comically covered in bandages and shedding shards.
As the battle concludes, Yuhan calls out to check if anyone in the club sustained injuries.
Soo-jung happily reports that everyone survived the encounter without receiving a single scratch from the monster.
Na-hyun expresses deep silent frustration, labeling Yuhan a dangerous scammer for his reckless tactical battle plan.
Na-hyun asks about a nearby glowing object which Yuhan identifies as their official dungeon raid reward.
A close-up reveals a rare ice attribute necklace, stunning the club members with its high quality and value.
Yuhan gathers the team before leaving the dungeon, wanting to discuss how to distribute the treasure.
Yuhan explains that the item is too rare to sell and should strengthen the party instead.
Yuhan proposes giving the necklace to Hana, establishing that items will go to those with matching attributes.
Hana reacts with shock, while Yuhan notes that the ice attribute perfectly counteracts her fire curse.
The club members enthusiastically agree to Yuhan's fair distribution plan, while Hana remains visibly surprised and moved.
A close-up shows Hana blushing slightly, deeply appreciative of the president's thoughtful and strategic gift. In a chibi-style illustration, the red-haired Soo-jung playfully hugs Hana to celebrate their successful first mission. Yuhan presents a variety of items to Yuri, fulfilling his promise to provide rewards upon joining.
Yuhan presents a beautiful silver bracelet to Na-hyun, identifying it as her personal share of the loot.
A close-up captures Na-hyun's eyes widening in pure awe as she gazes at the sparkling, intricate bracelet.
Na-hyun celebrates the bracelet's cute design while secretly planning to sell the expensive item for cash later. Yuhan leads the group back through the glowing portal, signaling the end of their successful mission.
The elegant gold title card is presented against a geometric background, signaling a transition between story beats.
A serene scene depicts a clear blue sky and lush green trees outside the Academy's main buildings.
Na-hyun runs frantically away from the Academy Tower, mentally cursing Yuhan for making her the focus. A text overlay captures Na-hyun's intense vocal frustration as she vents her anger toward the club president. A crowd of eager students chases after Na-hyun, desperately begging to see her rare and expensive gem.
Na-hyun screams in terror while the president watches her struggle, questioning her involvement in another troublesome situation.
A system window displays the president's narration detailing his tactical manipulation of the team's item distribution. The text confirms Yuhan sent everyone home while his gaze turns dark, focused on an unresolved matter. Dark energy swirls around Yuhan as he reflects on a specific problem that still requires his attention. Yuhan retrieves the purple fox gem from his pocket, determined to find a way to utilize it.
The scene shifts to the Academy exterior at night while Yuhan ponders who can help him.
A text box appears beside Yuhan's feet as he continues searching for a specific, reliable person.
Smirking with confidence, Yuhan decides on a perfect candidate who always listens to his various tactical requests.
A text box explains he needs someone with the minimum level to resist the gem's powerful enchantment.
Na-hyun is shown smiling radiantly against a blue sky, unknowingly becoming the target of Yuhan's next plan. Yuhan presents the dark, swirling gem to a curious Na-hyun and asks her to take it.
Yuhan instructs Na-hyun to hold the gem, his expression turning subtly sinister under the dark night sky. A final dialogue bubble commands Na-hyun to report any strange occurrences immediately while she holds the object. Na-hyun calls the president a scammer bastard for dumping the gem on her, wondering why everyone goes nuts upon seeing the object.
A student asks Na-hyun if she will accept his love letter, claiming her beauty shines like his gem's destiny and he would risk his life for the object.
Na-hyun screams in horror upon seeing a letter with the phrase "the gem" written repeatedly in blood.
Yuhan dismissively tells the girl to endure the chaos for a week until the situation naturally resolves itself.
Na-hyun shouts that the president is an unbelievable piece of trash and a rotten, game-addicted scammer for telling her to just hang in there.
Yuri suddenly appears to invite Na-hyun to lunch, providing a brief moment of respite from the surrounding madness.
Na-hyun notes with annoyance that the scammer president immediately ran away the moment Yuri showed up.
Na-hyun explains her problem while a voice nearby expresses an obsessive desire to date the round, shiny gem.
Students crowd around Na-hyun, speaking in trance-like states about how the gem would make a nice lunch menu.
The mob repeats gem in a disturbing chant while Yuri and Siwoo arrive to check if Na-hyun is okay.
Siwoo grabs Na-hyun's arm to pull her away from the encroaching students while she thanks him for the rescue. Lifting Na-hyun high above the obsessed crowd, Siwoo asks for an explanation of the strange and chaotic scene.
The scene shifts as a single word hangs in the air amidst the Academy's towers and greenery.
The team asks if everyone began acting strange after Na-hyun received the gem from the president, and she confirms her worry by mentioning the bloody letter.
Siwoo suggests destroying the item immediately, but Na-hyun hesitates because the president was the one who gifted it.
Siwoo insists Na-hyun is more important than the cursed object, causing her to react with teary-eyed appreciation.
The group trusts Siwoo's weapon, the treasured sword of hero Park Seon, as he bids farewell to the creepy gem and prepares to smash it. The group stares in disbelief as the gem remains completely unscathed, proving to be an unbreakable and mysterious artifact. The sky transitions into deep shades of purple and orange as a week passes in the narrative.
1 week later, a voice wonders if the gem is still causing the same obsessive behavior at night.
Exhausted, Na-hyun walks with Yuhan as a mob of zombie-like students continues their relentless and repetitive chanting. Naeun suppresses her rage, internally venting about how she wants to smash the scammer's head despite her public image.
The mob demands the gem, shouting that they would give up their lives just to possess the glowing object.
Yuhan tells Naeun to take the gem to the moonlit wake near the main building's walkway as the mob continues chanting.
Yuhan promises to hold the mob back while Naeun skeptically questions his ability to do so with his stats.
Students swarm Yuhan as Naeun flees, following his instructions to leave the obsessed crowd to his care.
Yuhan stands defiantly before the Cray students, commanding them to stop and challenge him if they wish to pass.
Naeun calls out to Yuhan as the crowd overwhelms him, hearing him grunt under the weight of the mob.
In a chibi-style illustration, Naeun vents her frustration at the useless stot trash who is easily defeated.
Naeun screams as she continues her frantic escape, pursued by students who are chanting commands to obey and kill. Looking back in terror, Naeun notices the students' eyes look wrong as they continue to relentlessly chase her.
Yuri and Siwoo arrive at the scene with their powers activated, asking Naeun if she is safe.
Thanking her friends for the backup, Naeun continues running toward the lake to complete the president's plan.
Siwoo and Yuri prepare to engage the mob, telling Naeun to stay safe while they handle the students. The obsessive voices of the students continue to echo, repeating their singular desire to possess the mysterious gem.
Naeun arrives at the lake and suddenly feels a surge of energy, wondering when the situation became so dire.
Sujung appears floating in the air, playfully greeting her junior while using her wind magic to lift her.
Hana stands ready with her glowing spear, checking on Naeun's condition amidst the swirling magical energy.
Moved by their help, Naeun reflects on how everyone in the club except for the scammer is an angel.
Sujung confirms the plan to send the students toward the lake while Naeun confirms the instruction.
An elegant gold title card is displayed against a geometric background, signaling a major shift in the scene.
Wind magic swirls through the starry night sky as the magical ritual at the lake continues to unfold. Naeun arrives at the lake's edge as the bright moonlight reflects off the sparkling surface of the water. The gem begins to crack and glow with intense purple light as Naeun watches the transformation in shock.
A massive explosion of purple energy erupts from the lake, sending beams of light shooting into the sky. Naeun stares in awe as the gem transforms into a towering, flaming purple gate above the water.
Yuhan reappears behind Naeun with leaves in his hair, calmly confirming that the gate has finally opened.
A massive purple portal reveals a room full of ornate furniture as a system window announces the item dungeon, the nine-tailed fox's treasury.
Sujung notes the president's extensive knowledge while he cryptically replies that he has his own reasons for knowing.
Yuhan shouts that the situation is too much and that he should have been informed much earlier if things were going to end up this way.
King Naeun yells through tears, her face flushed with raw, frustrated emotion.
Yuhan reflects on his misjudgment of Naeun's reaction while a game interface shows her former praise.
Naeun decides she will no longer be used as a pawn without any explanation for danger. Standing alone in the night, Naeun declares this world is her reality, not a simple game.
Yuhan explains his silence was due to unpredictable variables while a companion questions his initial intentions.
Yuhan offers a soft apology while gently wiping away the tears from Naeun's reddened face.
Naeun turns away sharply from the president's touch, rejecting his sudden gesture of comfort. The club members surround the crying Naeun, providing a protective wall against the president's influence.
Yuri furiously scolds Yuhan for his manipulative habits while he justifies his actions as strategic necessity.
Yuri rejects Yuhan's excuses about variables, accusing him of completely disregarding Naeun's personal safety.
Naeun tries to soothe Yuri's anger, reassuring her friend that she is ultimately unharmed. Sujung attempts to break the tension by suggesting they focus on the newly opened gate.
Hana warns Yuhan that his treatment of them as tools will be addressed later.
Yuhan observes the portal, noting that only the gem's previous holder can venture inside.
Yuri attacks the president for risking Naeun again while Yuhan clarifies that no monsters await her.
Yuhan instructs Naeun to claim her reward from the legendary vault by returning the gem.
Naeun offers Yuhan first choice of the treasures, secretly planning her own meta-point strategy.
Yuri blocks the president's greedy reach, insisting Naeun deserves the best rewards for her hard work.
Yuhan settles for one specific item, leaving the remaining treasure choices entirely up to Naeun.
Silver-haired Hana mentions a toll while Naeun expresses her gratitude to the senior member.
Naeun promises a swift return before stepping into the swirling purple energy of the portal.
Naeun enters the ornate treasury, marveling at the vast collection of precious artifacts and fox paintings.
A deep, mysterious voice startles Naeun by acknowledging the return of its child's lost gem.
The unseen entity confirms it is the legendary nine-tailed fox as Naeun stares in shock.
The fox offers Naeun 3 treasures as a reward for returning the stolen gem.
Naeun asks about the goblin fire lantern, fulfilling the specific request made by the club president.
The fox identifies the blue lantern as Na-hyun celebrates completing the first part of her quest.
Na-hyun scans the shelves of the Treasury, contemplating which artifact to choose for her second reward.
A beautiful white tassel charm catches Na-hyun's eye as it glows softly in its display.
The fox identifies the charm as a precious memento made from the celestial fox's tail fur. Na-hyun hesitates to take the sacred charm after learning of its power to repel all evil. The fox honors its promise, granting Na-hyun the charm as she vows to treasure it deeply. The voice prompts Na-hyun to select her final treasure while she examines the remaining items.
A set of delicate white flower hairpins sparkles with a faint, magical radiance. Na-hyun investigates a mysterious key that grants the protection of the fox's ancient lineage.
Dark energy surges as the fox reveals the key also unlocks a path to the underworld.
A shadow of malevolent energy flickers, hinting at the darker nature of the chosen key.
Na-hyun emerges from the portal carrying the glowing blue lantern under the starry night sky.
Yuhan calls out to Na-hyun, waving her over with uncharacteristic excitement as she approaches. Na-hyun smiles brightly as she presents the blue lantern, which Yuhan identifies as the will-o'-the-wisp. Yuhan greedily snatches the lantern, causing Na-hyun to note his intense and possessive behavior. Sujung inquires about the rewards while Na-hyun describes the protective key and foxtail charm.
Yuhan looks confused by the existence of such treasures as Na-hyun explains their protective powers.
Yuri frantically checks Na-hyun for hidden injuries, cursing the president for causing so much trouble.
Sunlight streams through the Guardian Cafe windows as a new day begins at the academy.
Students apologize to Na-hyun for their obsessive behavior during the week the gem was active.
Na-hyun forgives the students but glares at Yuhan as he focuses on their upcoming test results.
The club members gather to grade their theory tests, reacting with mixed emotions to the answers.
Na-hyun celebrates her high score of 89, her eyes shining with pride and relief.
The team encourages Na-hyun, noting her improvement and potential to reach the academy's top ranks.
Na-hyun credits her successful studying to the group as Yuri angrily threatens the academy over unfair rules.
A waiter delivers a tray of drinks as Yuhan identifies the sweet caramel macchiato as his own.
Yuri glares with intense red-eyed silence at the man sitting across the table from her.
Yuri points accusingly at Yuhan as he casually sips his hot beverage and asks for clarification.
Yuri questions Yuhan's sudden preference for sweets over espresso while he claims his tastes have recently changed.
Yuri notes he now enjoys meat despite his previous dislikes, while Yuhan maintains his palate has evolved.
Yuri critiques Yuhan's new flag weapon while Na-hyun tries to prevent a full-blown argument between them.
Yuri calls Yuhan trash as another student observes their heated bickering with extreme concern.
Yuhan dismisses the hostility as evidence of Yuri's sisterly interest while Na-hyun watches in complete shock. Na-hyun pulls the grumpy Yuri away with a smile to order some dessert and break the tension. Amidst the lingering awkwardness, Na-hyun expresses deep anxiety about her performance on the upcoming practical exam. Yuhan's expression turns sharp and focused as he asks about the mysterious key in Na-hyun's hand.
Na-hyun displays the glowing artifact, explaining it provides the divine protection of the legendary nine-tailed fox. Yuhan activates a specialized insight skill to scrutinize the hidden properties of the items Na-hyun recovered.
A system window identifies a white tassel ornament that permanently removes all status abnormalities from the holder.
Yuhan discovers the second item is a secret tower key that was hidden from the original game.
Yuhan reflects on the fox as a legendary secret while he observes the artifact in the night.
Yuhan secretly plans to deceive Na-hyun into surrendering the key while Yuri hugs her protectively.
Digital comments speculate on the key's true identity as Na-hyun trembles with sudden, intense apprehension. Na-hyun walks away with her friends, resenting the president's greedy and manipulative habits. Chibi Na-hyun is visibly stressed while trying to think of a way to keep her prize safe. The white tassel ornament is highlighted as a thought wonders if it can break a powerful curse. Na-hyun's profile is highlighted against a soft sunset as she loses herself in deep, silent thought.
Na-hyun watches her seniors walk by, contemplating if the new artifact can save them from their burdens.
Hana notices Na-hyun's distracted gaze and asks what is wrong, receiving a quick, nervous dismissal. The training grounds are packed with students scouting for team partners during the busy exam period. Yuri pulls Na-hyun aside and asks if she has considered her blunt proposal for the practical exam. Yuhan reacts with visible pain to the repeated insults while Na-hyun watches the duo's awkward exchange. Na-hyun awkwardly explains that she has already committed to taking the exam with Yuhan.
Yuri uses team statistics to justify excluding weak players while a pink-haired girl calls her name.
A student with curly pink twin tails nervously asks if Yuri would like to join her team.
Na-hyun realizes she recognizes the pink-haired girl from a past event while Yuhan wanders nearby.
Yuri bluntly rejects the student's request, stating she has not yet decided on a final team.
The pink-haired student stands frozen in utter shock and disappointment following the sudden rejection. Chibi Na-hyun observes the interaction and concludes that public confessions are generally a poor idea. A blonde-haired man asks Siwoo to join his team, but the boy remains non-committal about partner choices. The training hall is filled with energy as students proactively search for the best teammates.
Yuri dismisses another recruiter by insisting that every member of her current group is an exceptional person.
Nahyun notes that other students are intentionally avoiding her, the red-haired senior, and the manipulative president.
Nahyun understands that people are wary of the mixed-blood senior and the president's reputation as a scammer.
A student with purple hair and oversized glasses approaches Nahyun, identifying her by name.
The purple-haired girl aggressively grabs Nahyun's hand in an eccentric and sudden show of force.
With a crazed expression, the student begs Nahyun to participate in her latest scientific experiment.
Nahyun is completely stunned by the bizarre request while Yuhan watches the scene from a distance.
Nahyun is left bewildered and sweating by the strange girl's invitation to become a test subject.
Yuri demands an explanation while warning the scientist against putting Nahyun in any form of danger.
The purple-haired girl insists the experiment is harmless and only intended to visualize a person's magical power.
Yuri protectively embraces Nahyun as they both struggle to handle the eccentric scientist's high energy.
A character card introduces Park Eula, a mad scientist-type heroine, and her recruitment request.
Narration explains that Park Eula's future technical inventions will significantly impact many major story arcs.
Park Eula is ecstatic about Nahyun's magical power, while Nahyun wonders about her sudden interest.
Eula confirms her specialized vision can see mana, while Nahyun notes she usually targets the president.
Eula excitedly lunges toward Nahyun as Yuri struggles to hold the eccentric scientist back.
Eula offers various rewards for participation, but Nahyun agrees to help for the advancement of science.
Eula explains the simple procedure only requires some mana and a small blood sample. Yuri warns Nahyun against deciding so easily, while Eula insists the experiment is not dangerous.
Yuhan supports the idea as Nahyun trusts his judgment despite her internal suspicions of his motives.
Yuri expresses total disbelief at Nahyun's trust in Yuhan while Chibi Eula celebrates the participation.
Yuhan secretly negotiates with Eula, asking for her inventions as compensation for Nahyun's help.
Eula happily agrees to give many inventions while Nahyun is shocked by the secret negotiation.
Chibi Nahyun is outraged at Yuhan's manipulative behavior, comparing the club president to a slave trader. A decorative title card with golden Korean calligraphy appears as the narrative scene shifts.
The sun shines over the Grand Academy buildings as a new day begins.
In the cafeteria, Yuri asks Nahyun if she is headed to the lab after lunch.
Hana questions Nahyun about her plans while Nahyun explains her agreement to help with an experiment.
Nahyun walks through a bright hallway, reflecting on the extensive support provided by the academy. Nahyun arrives at the laboratory where Eula enthusiastically welcomes her for the scheduled experiment.
Nahyun observes Eula's impressive and high-energy personality as the scientist glows with excitement.
Eula leads Nahyun into the state-of-the-art laboratory to show her around the advanced facility. Nahyun spots a complex telescope-like device and asks if it is one of Eula's many inventions.
Chibi Eula identifies the large device as her cosmic entity observer currently under development.
Nahyun is impressed by the device's complexity, recalling its description from the original novel.
Eula directs Nahyun to sit in a specialized medical chair to begin the procedure.
Nahyun notices metal restraints on the armrest as they suddenly snapshot on her wrist.
Eula explains the temporary restraints are for safety, leaving a panicked Nahyun trapped in the chair.
Nahyun desperately asks to be released, but Eula dismisses the request as a joke.
Eula begins drawing Nahyun's blood with a syringe as Nahyun winces in visible discomfort. A blood sample and used medical supplies sit in a tray as the first part concludes.
Nahyun closes her eyes as the complex machinery completes the magic extraction process.
Nahyun asks if the experiment is over, but Eula hesitates with a troubled expression.
A tense atmosphere builds as a thought bubble reveals that Eula cannot hold back anymore.
Eula's eyes glow red as she leans in toward a paralyzed and terrified Nahyun.
Eula bares her fangs and leans toward Nahyun's neck as Nahyun panics internally. A bright light flashes in the room as Nahyun sits alone, looking startled and confused. Nahyun looks around the empty laboratory, confused and sweating after the strange experience.
Eula asks if Nahyun is awake and invites her back tomorrow for more mana.
Nahyun stands outside the high-security laboratory, looking bewildered by what just happened.
Deep purple energy swirls around as Nahyun experiences a strange and unsettling sensation.
Nahyun is shocked by her magic's reaction, noting the event happened sooner than in the novel.
Narration reveals the secret that the scientist Park Eula is actually a half-vampire.
Nahyun walks away, realizing Eula's vision triggers an urge for blood, hoping for some restraint.
Outside, other students continue to pester Yuri with desperate team requests for the exam.
Yuri, Hana, and Siwoo are surrounded by students seeking powerful teammates in the courtyard.
Chibi Nahyun sighs at the continuous public confessions and team requests happening around her. Nahyun is suddenly approached and called by name while walking through the academy grounds.
Hana asks Nahyun if everything went well at the laboratory during the earlier experiment.
Hana reaches out and touches Nahyun's collar area as they stand together in the sun.
Hana expresses deep concern for Nahyun, checking to see if she was hurt in any way.
Chibi Nahyun brightly lies, claiming nothing happened and that the lab visit was fun.
Hana stares intently at Na-yoon, seemingly unconvinced by her dismissal as Na-yoon sweats nervously.
Hana accepts the dismissal and departs, leaving Na-hyun to question why the silver-haired senior was suddenly expressing such unexpected concern for her well-being.